Okay. Hello. We are live from the apocalypse. What's going on? We're back streaming again. Cause I don't learn lessons, and I like being here and doing stuff for people. Oh, my extra life thing's in the wrong spot on the overlay. That's fine. But yeah, how's everyone doing today? How's everyone?
Great. Set back all of my clocks, and all of
Nice.
them are perfectly synced.
Oh
Delightful.
dear.
Yes, daylight savings time, where we're saving everything but your sanity.
Mm. It's for the farmers. It's for agriculture and America.
Of course.
And not though. It's for factories and flipping saving money on electricity and
Yeah,
no.
does anyone here know a farmer?
Yes. Pennsylvania, hello.
Mm,
Idaho also, hello.
I mean, there was Kazan in chapter 3. He was a farmer.
well, that's true.
Hello.
So, but I don't
Yeah.
know if Borneo uses daylight savings time. I have not actually looked into that. It blew my mind when I went to Arizona and they were like, "Yeah, we don't do that here," and I was like, "You can just not do that? That's an option?"
Right?
Yeah.
I would like to not do that.
And
Yeah,
then you can be that one tiny section of Indiana that observes half daylight savings time.
Right? It's like there are no
Hey,
rules
just a
apparently.
little.
Yeah, I see Ash's face. I'm like, no, it's absolutely insane because I was like,
Huh?
no, you have to
Yeah.
do it. They're like,
They're
no,
at
we
a
don't.
half-hour time zone.
We don't have to do anything. Like we're just gonna do our own thing.
India's like that too. It's so obnoxious. Sorry
Well,
to any
and, like-
viewers from India, but I hate calling your country.
Just everybody.
What time is it there? Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
what
half an
province
hour
you're in.
before or after I thought it should be. Great.
Also, the time that people switch for daylight savings time is not standard. So, like, Germany apparently does it in October, which I guess is fine if, like, you live in that far north or what. But, like, so their time swap is not the same as our time swap either, because you have, like, a month of weird in between whatever time.
Yeah, it's complete time anarchy, and I hate it. If Will is
Time anarchy.
if Will is out there in observing, oh hey, there's Will. Yeah, he would appreciate some time anarchy. As a rigid schedulist, I can't abide by such shenanigans. But speaking of shenanigans, I do love me some shenanigans.
That we can do.
That we can do. Let's get into it. Hey, just a quick plug too for Extra Life. We're still going for Extra Life weekend. This is like the big push. The 24 hours of gaming already passed. If you watch my Dark Souls stream, you'll know that I have indeed passed or failed all of my sanity checks at this point, and I got nothing left. But we're here. I'm running this game because
You said you would.
I said I would, and honestly because I like hanging out with you guys. And
Sucks.
we've built a good wholesome community here, and I just vibe off of your energy and something like that. I don't know. Also, gaming's fun, but we are very close to our $10,000 goal. So if you do have a little extra spare change, feel free to please just donate to the cause. It goes through the end of the year, but this is the big push for Extra Life itself this weekend. Yeah, that's all I can think of at the moment. So, if anyone else have any? Go ahead. Yeah, you got good words. Use good words.
Are there things the audience could prompt us to do to make their viewing more enjoyable for some money for the charity and children?
I'm not opposed
Oh.
to it. If you have a crazy
I'm not
idea,
keeping all of us out. Oh, okay.
nah. If you have an interesting idea that you think would be cool, throw it up in the chat. And if it'd be one of those like, yeah, cool, we'll absolutely do that, and like, or we'll talk it through and decide if it's actually worth it. Like, not worth it, but a good idea and something we can do reasonably. Right? That's the one. It's always
Giving us
worth it.
reroll,
Yeah.
saving us from madness, or silly accents all around.
Exactly.
It could be-
Yeah.
Yep,
those-
Silly-
definitely up for that. But-
Accents all around.
But yeah, something like, posting our home address, maybe not so much.
maybe
Yeah.
not so much.
Hey, if someone donates $100, will shave his head.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh,
That is
So
I like it.
just don't.
I'd like to see him try.
I don't think he'll do it. All right.
Andy, just because I shaved the opposite side of my head from you doesn't make it
it's
any
only-
less valid.
Is it just the front? Is the back like just a complete
The
tangled
back
mess?
Yeah, right.
The back is full on witch. It's witch hair. So.
I love it. Terraformed in the front, free jungle in the back. I don't know.
Terraformed, yes.
Terraform.
So speaking of terraformed, have we landed on Earth, or are we somewhere else?
That's a good
That's a
question.
good question.
That is a-
Let's get into it. Let's do a quick recap, right? So at the end of our last session, the players had or our brave heroes had returned from Borneo, having solved a lot of the crises there. They came back again under cover of darkness. Got into the Caduceus building and met with Joshua. Met him and did a little debrief, and he was very happy to see his bold heroes and the new fresh faces of Caduceus who are going to like champion the cause into the future. And as you were talking to him, and he pulled out his 70-year-old scotch and just sang your praises. You mentioned Rose had contacted you on a tablet. It was a woman named Rose, and abruptly he ended the conversation and said, "Okay, well, thanks for your time," and proceeded to leave. And his egregiously. Go ahead.
He did look mysteriously back when we asked him about to his office. When we asked him like, what set him on this, this whole crusade to save the world? Obviously, something must have tipped him off, or sparked it. And he went very subtly, not like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, I wonder what's back there.
So, motivation. But Canning, who honestly, the way I keep picturing that character is just like the dad from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs crossed over with Hendrix from Dresden Files at this point. Just absolutely, yeah, like no eyes, big eyebrows, like just absolutely angry. Decided to escort you out, at which point you spoke with Quentin. He said, "Hey, look, you guys have done a lot. This has been awesome. Go home, see your families, right? Take some time, relax." And as you were exiting the lobby of Caduceus headquarters, talking to Frank DeLuca, the security chief, the lobby exploded. Like from basically underneath the tiles, it just cracked and erupted, and a literal firefight broke out where like a combination of magic and bullets were being thrown around. The Caduceus security guards started pouring in from all different directions. You could see in these subtunnels that were under the floor, and as I mentioned before, not listed on the elevator. There's this entire back and forth where Tyrannish, certain priestess that you rescued from Bolivia, is in just a magical fight for her life as these Caduceus security guards are just swarming her and trying to gun her down. They are yelling, "She's gone rogue, we have to put her down." She is yelling back in response because she sees you. Caduceus is lying to you. We've been betrayed. And in a quick series of actions, Wendy put out a wall of fire with her serpent bracelet that she picked up, cutting off the security guards from Tyrannish. Cecil managed to get close and talk to her, and she was very wounded and very on guard, and basically said, "Hey, since you rescued me in this last moment, like, I'm leaving. You all have a minute to decide if you want to come with or not." And
Okay.
Party said yes, and they all jumped through the portal with Tyrannish, leaving Caduceus headquarters behind. Which is where we start our session. I'd like all of you to add 5 mythos to your character sheets, please.
Okay.
All right.
Extra spooky.
Great thing.
As you jump through this portal, things distort and become very difficult to follow and comprehend. Your mind and your body feel like 2 separate entities as you try to ground yourself with some type of maybe tactile sensation, or reach to something physical to maybe like stabilize yourself. You realize that isn't going to have work. There's something so bizarre around the like physics or lack thereof that is in this area that is causing you to just basically free float / be flung through this insane wind tunnel that is pushing out your ability to try to gather thoughts together. just because of how absurd and uncomfortable this feeling is. Eventually, when it feels you can't take it anymore, it feels like that gravity drop you have when you're at the pinnacle of a roller coaster and you finally just head down. You all land hard, right, in a dark and shapeless area. The only lighting that you see is coming from silhouettes of yourselves. There's like a little purple outline kind of covering you that sparkles a bit, but aside from that, as you look around, it is just pitch black darkness. Not like city streets with some lights out, but like you have your eyes closed in a dark room. Like there's nothing there. There's nothing. There's shapes. There's no anything. As you kind of look down at your footing, you realize that you're not standing on anything. There's just void, right? You're just suspended, maybe up and down. Don't quite track correctly here. And this moment you can see Tyrannish is radiating a lot more of this purple energy, this purple light that seems to be surrounding all of you. She is breathing heavily and has proceeded to basically, it's bizarre, take a knee, but her taking a knee is weird because, you know, Wendy, you're standing almost at a 90-degree angle to her. So the physics don't quite make sense. And, you know, Oliver, you're standing almost at a 180, right? But to you, everything is right side up. There's no head rush or bizarre feelings of, you know, being upside down. It's just, no, this is orientation. This is perspective that you have now.
So no weightlessness?
It feels like whichever way you are standing is the correct way. It's not that you are floating. It is that physics just adjust accordingly because there is no actual up or down that is concretely agreed upon here. It's bizarre. It's uncomfortable, and it is where you stop. And Tyrannish kind of taking a knee, clutching her side with these fresh bullet wounds with this like pale, like pinkish red blood kind of going down the side of her robes. Looks at all of you and says, I fear that I may not have the energy to get us the rest of the way to a safe location. And she holds out in front of you a softly glowing green gem. And you can see that it's like flickering and almost like it's about to die out. She says, the power took for me to move everyone to a safe location and continue to maintain safety here is everything I have left with and she coughs up a little blood. The wounds I've sustained. Please. And she looks at Cecil. I will do a little bit of on the fly learning. And the stone kind of floats towards you. She just lets go of it and just like moves towards your hand.
He reaches out to it. It looks like he's trying to keep himself from throwing up.
Okay.
But he also might just be super uncomfortable. So he like stands out. What must I do?
Yeah, like, can we can we reach toward her in this weird in between space? Like, can I like put a hand over a bullet wound and apply some pressure? Like,
100%.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
as you start to move around, it's basically...
I just, like, I feel like Wendy at this point is not even like standing and trying to walk. Like, we're crawling on whatever, like, you know, level is ground in this, like, but because that feels like the way to, you know, be the most stable and unlikely to fall to death, right? Like, yeah, that makes, yeah. So she'll like try and, you know, I don't know, grab like a handkerchief or something and whatever I've got to like the most clearly, like, I don't know, shimmering pink blood bit. Like, I don't want to take the gem, but like, fuck, this better not be the last bit of energy you do have.
Serenish, can we lend you power?
Her eyes flicker over towards the gem itself, and she says, that gem can be used as a focus point to continue to propel us the rest of the way to a safe destination. I can do one of two things in this moment. I can keep everything stable here with us, or I can push us forward at risk. If Cecil, Oliver, Wendy, even Kelly have any type of energy to put into that, that will get us the rest of the way. Wendy, do me a favor and roll first aid as you kind of like float, crawl, scramble. Like, I think there's a couple times where you like try to walk and like the physics is weird, and then you try to like you're saying, kind of just move around awkwardly and it's weird, but then you realize you're not moving with your physical body. And after like a little bit of Benny Hill cartoony like floating nonsense, you start to realize it's more of a mental exercise to tell the area where you want to be and how you want to move.
Okay. Great success. That's an 11.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Good. Let me roll a thing. Okay.
Yeah, check mark.
Cool. Yeah, mark that as a success. You managed
That's
to...
definitely never going to come in handy again. Nope. Yeah.
It's weird how it's just weird how similar serpent people are to real people. Like,
it's fine. Yeah.
No, you managed to put a lot of pressure on these wounds and stop the bleeding substantially. Right. She still needs greater help later, but in this moment, we'll be able to like stay conscious and stay focused in the scene, right? Yeah. Which is important.
Yeah. Like Wendy is gonna be like staring at her hands, like, if I move these, everything bad will happen. So we're gonna just like, yeah, I got it. But if I lose focus, trouble. Yes. We got it.
Gently lays a hand on your shoulder and just says, "Thank you." Looks at all of you and says, "Where we are now is a place between, you can call it the potential or what may come, or there's a lot of ways people could describe it. But this is the moment before action, the moment of thought, where thought and where mental and physical energy combined. This is how things are in between the realms, or the worlds, if you will, or the different locations." Excuse me. And she kind of clutches her stomach again. We can't walk out of here. We can propel ourselves forward to a safer location, concentrating on focus or motivation. Concrete goals and thoughts are what help to counter the abstract complexity of this area. Where this is potential, it needs focus to form it into something real and take us to a place that is concrete. And the gem continues to just float in front of you, Cecil. She says, "Take that and focus on something real that drives you. And that will give us, or put more energy into pushing us through this area."
Cecil nods and he looks at everybody, and he knows exactly what to think about, uh, and he puts that forth. You need me to describe it? Describe it? I can.
Oh yes, tell us, Cecil, what it is as you take this gem and it floats into your hand and it starts to light up as you think about this core motivation, this concrete, resolute thought, in this ever shifting and changing place. What is it that comes to your mind?
At first, like he thinks about, he's like, uh, as a folklorist, like he thinks about like going to places and like looking at books of myth and then like finding the history and then like taking the both of the books and kind of putting them together, lecturing to people about it. And then he thinks about Castle Davenport and like returning there, standing proudly in front of it. And then he goes into a room in Castle Davenport, and there's a shady figure that's in front of him, probably a little bit bigger than he is, and he like forces with his uh, force of will, magic power, call it what you will, it into a mirror, and then like gloats over it and starts smashing it repeatedly until the form within completely disperses, and you hear the slightest scream, distantly, as if from a world in between.
As the scream kind of echoes around this voided area, the green gem in your hand starts to glow a little more. Um,
Can we hear that?
Yes, you can actually see this starting to like play out around you, both in the actual void itself and in your mind's eye simultaneously. So you're still surrounded by darkness, but you can almost feel this on a personal level.
Do not like. Okay.
Um, and from there, a bunch of stones manifest into this voided area, right? And you can start to see they float and are perfectly cut and start to form what looks like a path moving forward, still into that deeper darkness, but it looks like there is now some semblance of direction. And Tyranish says, "Good, yes, yes. Keep, keep going. It's working." Um, and looks at the other three of you.
Cecil offers the the gem to whomever reaches out to it. I am so sorry that you had to see all of that. Left in my hands, you'll just see a lot of more smash and mirrors, more likely than not.
Do we help you with this, or do we need something else?
We need a way out. My focus. And she coughs up a little more blood again and like, you're not easily startled, so I will share the potential consequences here. What happens to ideas or concepts that are never acted upon? When someone has inspiration and they let it slip through their fingers, what does it become? It becomes nothing. It just disappears into the background noise of life in the world. And you take a second look at the glowing purple light around you and says, "It's important that we keep everything focused and together, and that is my job here. To ensure that the potential you in the future does not disappear in this moment. Please push us forward."
So this, we want to stay on this idea. Yeah.
We want to follow that path.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And like Wendy will like, she's holding on with one hand to bloody whatever, but she'll take the gem. So Mr. Joel or Dab, what is it what does it smell like in the like outside in spring when you're at Castle Davenport? Does it smell like grass or like wet stone, or what?
Oh,
Oh,
it's both. Uh,
out of character.
Yep.
What motivates you, Wendy?
Like the goal that she would,
Yeah.
if this were,
This,
or
this is a cool
the
moment.
motivation in this moment other than not blinking out of existence. And
This is a moment where you have a chance to concretely define and look at what it is that you want and what drives you forward, right? And that will push this. That will push you all towards a concrete and safe place. But your motivations have to be your own. You can't obviously go with someone else's motivations. What drives
yeah,
you?
so like when Tyrannish was talking, I feel like Wendy thought back to like, oh yeah, we read in school like the like Langston Hume poem about like a Hughes, not Hugh, about like a dream deferred, and she's thinking about like forming her like community in a way that is, so like the thing that she's been funneling like the money that she's been making with Caduceus into is like trying to like buy the buildings that they like are occupying, and to like set up so that every like family in the like grander connected network of like her extended aunties and uncles has enough that would like they don't have to worry about working 6 jobs too. So like she's imagining this like I can be the person that brings that, like not like Robin Hood, but the like I'm not like stealing from anybody, but like my prosperity is meant to help the other people around me, like to keep my father healthy and to make sure that like we have enough of a foothold that none of us have to struggle and the next people that come do a little bit better than we did. And like I'm gonna keep my sanity in like unlike the rest of my one side of the family, and that's a thing that will definitely happen if I don't ever open that internal box. And or yeah,
As you focus
the
on on these thoughts and motivations along the stone pathway that has been forged through the basically endless void, you start seeing little houses and structures and businesses pop up along the sides, and as you're almost looking, and you can see in a sweeping camera arc, almost like an overhead view of a diving bird, that these initial structures are worn down and broken and derelict and almost unlivable. But as they progress along this pathway, they become um, they become well constructed and stable, and they look pleasant and nice. And you can just see the slow evolution of, like you said, a now almost town of people who are able to live in much better conditions, pushing forward down this path as that starts to line the stone walkway that's appeared. The green gem continues to glow a little brighter, and Tyrannus looks at Kelly and Oliver.
Ellie's really uncomfortable by all of this. This is just so freaking weird. Um, what do I do? Do I hold it? I shouldn't touch it, right?
oh, I think hovering close enough to your hands seemed to work for me, but anything you dream of that you want to actually follow through with.
This place is about intent, not physical action. You could simply
all right.
think at the stone, and it'll know what you want.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna keep my distance. I
I don't like it.
don't. Gilly just kind of like shakes his head and closes his eyes and like, tries to focus. Like he kind of believes meditation is bogus, but like will do his best.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he thinks about winning. He thinks about pride and family means a lot to him, but his own personal goals are a little more selfish. He likes to win. And so I think guiding his thoughts that way of, you know, belts and honors and fists being raised in the air over a slumped body, like that's what he's envisioning.
I like it. Yeah, down again the same pathway, we can see the stone walkways and the buildings now appear like, you know, banners and posters of Kelly in various places where he has won accolades or medals, right? And you can see that it's not just Kelly that appears on these things, but your family, you know, your brothers and sister appear with you, and you can see just how proud they are of you, as they're like almost lifting you up, not necessarily in like a, you know, we just won the Super Bowl way, but like they spiritually lifting up, spiritually lifting you up, and in turn, as you are inspiring them, right? But these medals and banners and belts just appear down this walkway. Again, still leading towards empty void, but now you have a very clear path somewhere. And there's a slight echo of cheering that kind of goes through the area. Oliver.
Oliver's going to sort of turn toward the group and just kind of look at everybody and sigh, and kind of looks them in the eye one by one and says, "I apologize." And then everyone is instantly beset with a vision of what looks like Oliver's study, and we all hear sort of our breathing and to a certain extent our heartbeats, in, you know, sort of a ordinary slow tempo, and looking down on the page of a book, and we can't quite make out the text. It's as though there's a word just stuck on the tip of your tongue, and so the page turns and the vision changes slightly. Now it's the wall of a cave, and there are scribblings on it in ochre: people, animals, gods. The heartbeat and the breathing get faster. The shadows lengthen a bit in what appears to be the torchlight. Another page turns, and you see Oliver's family, his niece and nephew. The shadows in the room, in the study, lengthening further. And again, just this sense of frustration that if you could just find the right word, sentiment, concept, it must be here, and you can feel the heartbeat quickening and the breath getting more ragged. And then you see the shadows lengthen yet again. The page turns, and you're in what looks like a university library, and the lights are slowly coming off. Great long hall with hanging chandeliers and rows of books, and the shadow is creeping closer, the lights dimming, 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 and you're just looking for that one single thought before the lights go out, and you can't ever goddamn find it.
I'm half tempted to ask for a sanity check from the group. Holy cow. That was epic. At the end of this walkway, right, this, you know, stone path with these improving neighborhood buildings, with these banners and belts and accolades, appears a beautiful, ornately carved door, right? And this door is nice, right? It looks like it's made from dark oak, and it has all sorts of very lovingly crafted designs and filigree on it. But the thing that is so inspiring about this thing is it is lit up like a beacon in the darkness, right? It is almost overwhelming, given how literally blank everything else is around you. And this door just locks into place at the end of this long pathway. Brilliantly lit, and the double doors swing open, revealing just the purest, whitest light you've ever seen. And Tyrannus says, "There. Let's go."
Let's go.
And you all push down the street, and it's interesting because
Now there's a down. Yay!
now there's a down and now there's an up, and things get a little bizarre as everyone kind of has to regulate and realize they're walking with their feet again, because time is hard to gauge in this place. You have no idea if it's been a couple minutes or a couple days, or it's like when they do that thing with where they're trying to save time by erasing daylight, and like suddenly 4 p.m. turns into midnight, and next thing you know it's like 2030. Like,
You mean honoring the farmers of America?
yes.
Okay.
No,
Probably the farmers of Bolivia in this case, but yeah.
It is that moment though where you realize, like, now that there are these concrete structures around you, like you can feel things again. You can feel the tactile sensation of like walking on concrete. You can actually smell these wonderful and just like delicious smells coming from these houses where people are like making foods, and they're making they're making tea, and things are just like comforting almost. And you can hear the sounds of like people cheering and the ringing of a bell, and you can almost sense like that sensation of that euphoria of a workout when you're sweating and you're working towards something that just feels so good to accomplish, even if it's just whatever the goal may be. You've reached it, and you feel that top of the Philadelphia stairs run with both hands into the air, like you've done it. And then finally you have now that last bit of inspiration filled with apprehension of, wow, at the end of this path there is absolutely something that will help keep you safe and will bring you back to a place that you're familiar with and can call home. But there are so many things you still don't know and understand about your own world and your own lives, let alone this insane place, that knowledge is way more present with you as you reach these doors. And you see this blindingly white light in front of you. Anyone who wants to is welcome to make a spot hidden, as you are standing in front of these doors in preparation to step through. Joe,
Great. Go.
I made my second one over in this game. It's just a regular success.
Yeah,
Okay.
great success here, by the way. But spot hidden is a thing I have a lot of points in. So
Nice. Does anyone else want to roll? You can YOLO it.
I didn't get there.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Does it spot us back?
I rolled for Tyrannus, and that was a very good roll.
okay, good. I'm a little bit worried that we're gonna see like motes of purple slowly descending upon us or something. But yes.
No.
No, it's far worse than that.
Wendy, through the light, you see silhouettes of what look like trees, right? It's hard to kind of pin that one down because they kind of shift and it's very, very bright. But you definitely catch like, oh, okay, yeah, that looks like a pine tree. Like that look, okay, and then it kind of fades away and it's gone. But you have an impression that like there's some sort of forested area on the other side of this portal, right? Cecil, you catch the occasional glimpse of the silhouette of people as well, just standing stark still in kind of bizarre stances, and you kind of see like 1, 2, 3. There might be like half a dozen, maybe more out there. scattered around in this forested area. Can you see the trees as well? And they don't move, but they are out there. And it's something that you think may be your destination.
I think I thought I saw a tree, but I see strange people in kind of odd. Can he like replicate one of like the stances?
The stances are interesting. They look like people are fleeing or throwing up their hands in a defensive measure or yelling or screaming at something as they're trying to recoil from maybe this doorway, what looks like you, and you seem to be the source.
Think
I mean that
they're
that tracks.
I think they're afraid though.
Well, I can't imagine that we're the most normal of drop-ins right now.
It's
I'd be a
possible that
little, I'd be scared too. That, yeah.
Cecil, why do you think the angels always start with "Be not afraid"?
Ah, well, we should have like, kind of led with that, I suppose, shouldn't we have? Oh,
uh,
um,
Uh,
Ty Tyranish, will we be hurting anybody as we go in?
she's also staring at the portal, and she says, "No, I don't think so. It
But they might
seems
be.
it seems that we have tapped into an entranceway that someone else previously built. But I do not think we're in danger."
Ah. Somebody say maybe be not afraid once we go across. Huh?
I'll try and
Uh,
remember.
Wendy's gonna like, because we were just back in New York, so I'm gonna make the assumption that like I was wearing like a coat or something. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we were ready to leave, so like hat and coat and gloves and all of nonsense. Because you know, 30s. So
Yeah.
she's gonna put like her hat on Tyrannish and like the coat as well at one and like hold like the
They're both
still pressure
comically small.
on the wound. But yeah, like I'm significantly
Yeah.
smaller than her, so it's not going to fit nicely.
Yeah.
Like maybe just draped over shoulders, but just like a little bit of obstruction of, and kind of like get in underneath her like armpit, so I can like keep pressure and like kind of walk with. Like if I'm, please don't. If I'm permitted, could I, and like I'm gonna try and like kind of hold her around the middle to keep pressure, but like keep us together with this very terrible disguise that I have just made.
Yeah, she looks at you and she says, I'm in your care. I trust you. Do what you need to do."
Okay,
Cecil looks at the disguise and he
neat.
kind of sighs and like he takes off a cravat. Like he's ruining his own day on purpose and hands it to Tyra, like kind of like reaches up and like hands it to her. Milady, if you'd like a scarf or perhaps something
Veil.
to cover your face.
She nods, takes it, and puts it on. Thank you. Play Nerd Allies. What's up? Thanks for the follow.
Woo!
Yeah. She takes a deep kind of, you know, or she takes another shallow breath and says, "Are we ready?"
Yes.
As
She-
I'll ever be.
She looks at Oliver and like nods at the resolute, like the determination behind that statement. She's like, yes, that's the one. Okay, and Tyrannus steps through.
Going with you.
Okay. And one by one, you pass through this blindingly white light, and you end up, again, just hitting the ground. It's almost like you miss that extra step at the bottom of your stairs, right? This is a weird, awkward sensation as you shift back to correct physics, because even where you were, like, things are still a little off, and now, boom, gravity's back. Boom, you can hear atmospheric noises now in the same way you wouldn't before. You are in a forest as your eyes kind of adjust to
Son of
the
a
light.
control.
As your eyes adjust to the light, you realize that the sun is still kind of hanging low in the sky, and it seems to be on its way towards sunset. Which, for time reference, when you left Caduceus building, it was definitely nighttime, so at least a day has passed, right? And you are in a forested area and a small clearing inside of it, right? And it's about maybe 60 feet around in a very well maintained circle. And as you see that you are actually standing in the center of this clearing, and you are surrounded by about a dozen stone statues. People in various forms of fleeing, recoiling, throwing their hands up in defensive positions, right? But all of them have been frozen in place. Oliver, you've seen this place before. When you...
Why, yes, it's Snakehenge. What?
Well, when you had a rough couple of days and went to the university to do research, being a little sleep deprived after dealing with the scrolls that Tyrannish gave you.
Oh, that's right.
You fell asleep and you saw the before events of this. You remember seeing this clearing. You remember a bunch of people opening or preparing to open a portal, and you remember a voice when the lead person said, "So we're ready, but this is incredibly risky." And he said, "I understand. Do it." And the after effect of them people being frozen in place as the portal opened and then was quickly slammed shut. So this is now the actual after effect. The grass itself, as you kind of step on it, is hard and spiky and cracks a little bit, like it's actually made of concrete at this point. And like as eyes start to adjust to the outside lighting, you can see pretty much everything from the epicenter of this portal entrance has turned to stone, except the eyes of the people that are currently frozen follow you as you move.
Oh, all of all of them
All of them.
follow us.
They turn. They look at you. If they can make expressions, they'd be screaming, like if they could actually move their faces or make any type of noise. But their eyes scream surprise and panic.
Cecil does not like this at all. Is there?
Yeah.
What happened here? He looks at. Is there like a door portal? Like a door, or we just kind of like arrived in the center of this and they're perfectly surrounding us?
What you stepped through was basically just a energy pathway, right? There's no actual door. It's all concepts, right?
Yeah,
So-
shimmer in the air, not a Stargate.
Everyone says doors take you places, so you think door, you open the door to go to a new place. Boom. Right, so you've arrived in this clearing. There's a flash of light. There's like the gust of kind of energy that comes off of that, but outside of that, like there is no lingering effect of the actual travel itself. It's just the five of you standing there in this clearing as the sun's slowly setting in the background.
When did this happen? When we arrived? Tyrannus, you said that there was already a door here and already a portal here. Somebody tried to establish. Is this? Did we do this?
No, Cecil. It was this way before. I've seen this in a vision.
Oh, no, you're having visions.
These people did this to themselves, unfortunately, meddling in powers they did not fully comprehend.
And they failed.
Indeed.
They're alive. I'm like half asking Tyrannish, half wondering it out loud. Like,
She places a hand on one of them.
yeah.
Kind of focuses for a second.
He's still holding her, but I'm going to be like as far as possible from the stone person as I can possibly get while still hanging on to her. Like, I do not want to touch that.
Side. Somebody asked in the chat, what the hell is going on here? And I was just like, oh, a live playthrough of Two-Headed Serpent.
I mean, they might be asking what the hell is going on here because we just arrived in a circle of stone people.
I mean, also, yes. It's in the book. So, we're maybe, I don't know, I ad-lib a bunch of stuff. We're fine. We're on the right track.
Audience can read ahead if they want.
That's true. You have the cheat sheets. You can compare what the book is to what the actual game is, which is always fun for me. But, she takes a moment and kind of steadies herself and then sighs and says, there's, I wouldn't describe it as... There's still life force inside of these statues, yes. I don't know if they're still alive. As you were taking a moment to gather your thoughts and further examine the area, there is a pathway that leads down out of the clearing and into the woods itself, right? The rest of the area is kind of surrounded, but there is one good walking path that gets up here. It's kind of far away, but you can see the silhouette through the trees, and you can definitely hear the motor running of a car. A couple 100 feet down this path, drive past the entrance to it, right? And then just head on their merry way. They're not coming down the road towards you, but you definitely hear an automobile just drive by. You see the lights.
So can we recognize anything about where we are once we look past the stone circle to the vegetation and such?
At the moment, no, just because of all the trees. You're mostly surrounded by a wooded area, but...
No, I mean, like, what kind of trees?
Oh, 100%. Roll natural world.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, no worries. Let's see, that's a 15 natural world.
Nope.
Yeah, that is a great success.
Yeah, you look around at the trees and the vegetation, because you've been to some wild places recently, and you're right, you could be anywhere in the world. You look like this.
I rolled a success on this. My natural world is terrible, but I rolled a 2, so I just mark it. Wendy recognizes like a plant.
Is that a great success or an excellent success for you?
Or actually, yeah, because it's 1/5.
Yeah.
It beats it.
Yeah.
I got a 2. I have 10, so that yes.
Oh,
Cool.
Well done.
Now, between
Like-
Wendy and
like I wanted to
Oliver,
take a
looking
picture
at these
of
trees and like kind of going through like the naming convention checklist of like what you're seeing and where you are, you're definitely in the American Northeast. You could probably narrow it down to like you're still in the like New York, New Jersey, Vermont, Connecticut area, based on the wildlife you're seeing. So you didn't go very far. You're definitely not in New York City, but
That
you're still on
is
the
a
coast.
white rock. That is a sugar maple. That okay.
I didn't know you knew your trees.
I had to do a book report one of the days I was absent, and she gave me on the botany of, I think it was the first one she yeah.
Well
All
done.
right.
Well,
So we're not too far from home. Probably not best if we return.
Just glad we're
suppose
not on.
I suppose going to the road wouldn't be a bad idea, but Ironish. Would you let us know, maybe as we walk and talk, if you can? I know you're wounded. Would you let us know exactly how we've been lied to? I trust you.
Can we, if there's still life force in, like, can we break one open? Can like the
Oh, I feel like that would be a terrible idea.
put them out of their like? There's something in there. And
Hmm. No, Wendy, you raise an interesting point. Tyrannish, could you draw the power here to help heal yourself?
Oh,
like
not
from
at expense of your life. No, that's immoral, and that's wrong.
God.
I hate to say it, it's
They're
unchristian.
they're not using it.
Whoa!
I feel like Cecil and
this is like if
and
Wendy
Kelly
had been
just, like,
nauseated,
trade
like
one.
coming out of the portal, like now, oh,
I don't
Cecil, make a
think
spot hidden, please.
make a what?
Spot hidden. Or psychology, whichever's higher.
Oh man, psychology, please. So, that's really good.
Nice.
That's a extreme success.
Oh, you notice that when Oliver suggests this, Tyrannish considers it, and you see her expression change when you say, "Don't do that." Like when you say, "No, that's a bad idea," she's like, "Yeah, that's probably a bad idea."
Oh, I
But,
thought
like-
that was gonna go the other direction.
100% like was on board when Oliver said, "Yeah, there's probably life force you could take," and she's like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense to me." Looks over at you and is like, "Yeah, but we shouldn't do that though."
I don't think, and feel free to speak up around here. I don't think that would be the best idea. Might they be suffering? We don't know, but to take their lives, I don't think that would be the best of ideas.
It's possible
But
through
there are plenty of threes around here, I suppose.
it's possible through time and study that there's a way that we can bring them back to how they previously were, but that is not something we would be able to do in this moment. In terms of healing, I will heal a little better here than I will in the in between.
With
So-
the natural flow of time and things.
I will. I think I will be okay. I would ask that we do work to get someplace safe quickly. But of course, I can tell you, you deserve to know you came with me after all. But Wendy, I think for now we have to leave them and maybe come back when we have a better answer.
will they survive until then?
I don't know.
What?
I get the sense it's been a while.
Centuries or decades, do you think?
Well,
Well, actually, let's look at their clothing. And Cecil kind of looks at their clothing to kind of get a sense of the decade.
No, fuck.
Being a dandy, he probably knows.
modern.
Modern. Not too long ago.
Oliver, you
What-
had this dream about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, before you left for Borneo.
Yeah.
So it's pretty recent in
But-
terms of
but
era.
weeks-
Yeah,
But
I mean,
weeks of time.
correct.
Yeah.
So
No,
like
I-
they're
I-
not like, it's not like they were like encased in stone and had the same like all of the regular bodily needs or whatever, because they'd be dead by now.
Yeah.
Where-
No. If
so,
they
like
were going
something is
to,
keeping them suspended in.
yeah, this was before Borneo, so they're not like they don't need water or food. Fairly obviously.
Wendy is
Sorry,
totally
I'll read the room better
right now.
next time.
It's fine. That is, it was a perfectly Oliver response. It's fine. Like,
It's so in character. It's so good.
like, yeah, Wendy's just crying now. Like, would it put them out of their misery if you were to like?
I mean, if I was stuck in a statue like this, I hope somebody would put me out of mine.
I'm hesitant to spend too much more time here.
I think that's reasonable. This is an ill-favored place.
I
I agree.
don't. I'm sure it is within my abilities and likely Tyrannus's for us to make mental contact. I don't think the state that they're in would be kind to either of our minds.
No.
Tarnish nods.
And like Wendy's like looking at each of like the eyes of the different like the statues around us as they're like, you know, apparently like looking between and Tyrannish, like
Yeah,
because now that it's like
roll a
yeah,
sanity check.
they're especially now that the like option of their
As you're like, yeah, making extended eye contact and really examining this.
that like okay, I succeeded. Is that a great success or not though? Where am I? Yeah, no, that's a great success. I am up until this point pretty sane.
Okay. A great success is only a loss of a
Still damaging for me too. Yeah, the fuck.
Great success is 1d4 damage.
Okay,
If you want to roll it, go ahead.
I'll roll it.
As you are really mulling over the situation and like, because the more eye contact you make with them, the more expressive their responses are, and like it's.
Or just that I'm interpreting that it is. Yeah, the.
No, those are definitely people in there who are definitely having a bad time of it, and like are definitely.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna be honest. I rolled a 1, but I feel like Wendy would. I'm not gonna.
You can take more. Go for it. But yeah. Tyrannosaurus says we do need to move on. I don't have the power or the health to help them, and I don't know what exactly would be necessary to eat to fix their situation. If they can be brought back, we can revisit this place.
You couldn't take mine?
What your life force?
No. This is something we will have to revisit another time. We can't stay here.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, this is a curse. I don't think this is very dark, but I'll say it. I don't think they're going anywhere fast. It's funny because it's true. Little dark Irish humor for you.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Look up this road and starts striding down and like looks back.
And like Wendy's gonna like bury her head into Tyrannus's just like shoulder. Like she can see where we're walking, so like I will do the force walking, but you're the one leading us out. I can't look.
Okay.
Like yeah.
As you're walking towards the road, it's probably like a quarter mile, you know, through the woods, right? So it's gonna take you like 3 to 5 minutes to walk that, right? Tyrannus says, I have discovered that Caduceus is not all that it appears to be, and I believe Joshua met him, or someone on his staff has co-opted and corrupted the company. I found research information and other evidence that the weird, or that the in my culture, there's talk that one day the serpent people will inherit the world. Right? They'll cleanse the world of humanity. They will take what is owed to them, and they will do what they will with the human race, whether it be completely eradicate or enslave them. But the bottom line is the humans are the enemy from that perspective. Not everyone thinks this way. I certainly don't. I would prefer to just live elsewhere and let things occur. But it's very clear that Caduceus is trying to start this conflict.
They're trying to start it before it's supposed to happen, like initiate it.
They are instead of trying to prevent catastrophe, they are working to accelerate that timeline. And when I confronted Mr. Goncalves about this, he said he would, of course, take my concerns to Mr. Medham, and the next thing I know, I was met with a large contingent of security forces. So, whatever's happening in that company,
have we ever discussed the tablets and rows with Tyrannish, as far as we know? I don't remember.
Nope.
I think we shared. Is this out of character?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have showed her one of the broken tablets. I think in the beginning.
Yeah,
on the way.
she recognized the technology, but you've never talked about Rose with her. Also,
Yeah.
this is super
Well, we
important.
didn't have a name for it.
And now that's kind of been bouncing around people's minds as you're talking about this. Everyone, roll me a history check and let me know if you get an extreme success.
Unlikely, but maybe somebody else.
This is like
No.
a random thing that would have popped up in like a news article one day on a Wednesday, like years
Yeah,
ago.
that's
or some
it's a
shit.
93.
So
Nope.
No.
I don't read news, but no, that's
I got a great success, but on the extreme.
how
So
far?
it's regular, hard.
Regular,
Great?
great, and extreme. How far are you away?
Oh, I mean, I could push my luck on it, or I could
So
it's
you can burn
about
luck to
nine,
Mm,
9 away.
you're 9 away.
I could burn luck in order to get down there. Actually,
I'd say it would be worth it for this one.
Will, did you get it?
I did not. I could push my luck, but I'm not close. My history
You know
skill is
what?
really good, though.
Yeah, my history.
Yeah.
My
Being a
history
professor
is.
of history.
What is your history?
Oh, let's not metagame completely.
No, it's fine. Okay. Yeah, I'll just burn that luck then. So, great.
The interesting thing about this is you're talking, and like no, you haven't brought up Rose to Tyrannish, right? Outside of just like showing the tech and the tablets. But as you're kind of as Oliver asked that question, Cecil, you're kind of thinking about the weird interactions, right, that have occurred. The way Rose spoke about Mr. Medham, the way Medham just immediately got up and exited the room when you brought her up.
Mhm.
The just bizarre and intense emotional reactions to each other's presence. It occurs to you that Joshua Medham is an incredibly public figure who does not ever talk about his personal life. In a way where he is constantly driving new technology and new operations, but new pharmaceutical things when he was a businessman before, and going into charitable operations. He's always talking about like the future of the company or like people that are around him that are doing great things. But when asked about like his home life, he doesn't want to talk about that. He wants to talk about the future and the things that he takes pride in as the CEO of Caduceus. Which is why it's very rare when he mentions things like his daughter in an interview, Rose Medham, that just happened to be published like years ago in a weird op-ed when he first took over, when he first established Caduceus Industries, and he specifically said he set out to make sure that his family and his daughter would have a better world to live in, and her name was mentioned in that article. That was about 13 years ago. So the fact that it even like resonated with you was something you read was like, holy crap, because he never talks about it otherwise.
Oh, my stars. Like, Cecil stops and, like, spins around in place, maybe a little too fast. And he says, Madam has a daughter. I read in an article 13 years ago. He has a daughter. We tried, I tried everything I could to get him to talk about anything when we just met him, or talked to him a day ago. His daughter's name is Rose. I don't know what that means. Are they related?
How could they not be?
This is just a thing that inspiration simply came to
So,
me, but it's too good to be true. And she's had some snide remarks about Mr. Medham and offered to take all of us onto her side. And as soon as I mentioned Rose, like a robot or automation, he just got up and went into his office. I wonder if that's the same timing, Tyrannish. That you got attacked. It was mere minutes later that we arrived in the lobby's floor, and it exploded, and then we saw the fire and magic fight, and then walked through the portal with you.
She told Dr. Goncalves, so and it doesn't sound like he could have made it all the way up without. We would have been there if we'd seen him talk to Mr. Medham. Not that they aren't related, but like it sounds like he didn't even bother contacting Mr. Medham.
And Von Kalvik is the one that put the box of stars, you know.
Specifically against Quentin.
Shady business, yes.
Yeah, because Quentin was in charge of that mission and specifically told him, do not do this. And he packed it in. He put it in the plane anyway.
Oh.
And I'm glad he did, because it let me do some really cool things. But anyway.
It's a really cool... It's a cool-ass MacGuffin, and I'm really happy to use it. But...
That jerk.
Indeed. Tyrannish, do you know this Rose person? She's also one of your kind, but it seems to be actively working against what you think the way things should go. And she does not like Medham. Do you think? Do you know maybe a Rose?
I've asked Joshua about his family and his life here, and he's been very hesitant to say anything. I can't say I do, but if what you're describing is accurate, then I'd be curious to know why they're at odds. And for the record, out of character, when you were talking to Rose, she absolutely said Medham was completely effing insane and you should break contact with him.
Like any estranged child would about their parents.
Yep, 100%. And Medham also said that the Interknight 100% wants to assassinate members of Caduceus. So, because that came up in one press briefing.
But she's a snake person. Rose is a snake person.
Did we see her fully?
Yep, she wears a
Oh.
Fudge monkeys.
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Well, crap. We've been lied. We've been lied to. We've been lied to.
It was Tyrannish. Is there any other proof? that came to light in your own kind of what specific events do you think he's trying to accelerate, or has he? Was he in charge of poisoning the well um uh in Borneo, or perhaps setting off
When
the
you say
strange.
that, Wendy's just gonna like vibrate with rage at the idea that he poisoned. It's like for like now we must kill him. Um, sorry, go ahead. If he did that,
She
he
she stops and she says, "There is the thing that became a concern for me. The biggest piece is that Dr. Goncalves asked me to review um, this is me get my thoughts together. Okay. The biggest concern for me is that Dr. Goncalves asked me to review some radio uh, radio shows, radio broadcasts. There we go. Some radio broadcasts that were coming out of a small town in Oklahoma that Caduceus was working with. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out where things are on your map here. But when I listen to it as a preacher who's talking about, I guess, your Christian God and facing down the serpent, and he was very adamant about this, which is an interesting thing to hear from the culture and history perspective, sure, but I had to bring it to Dr. Goncalves' attention that there was a secondary message in that radio broadcast being spoken in the call. And it's not one that you can hear in the normal sense, but you can feel it, or it resonates with you. It's almost
Subsonic?
yes, like a magical conditioning of some type. Subtle commands, and I said this is incredibly concerning. It means that there's a possibility that there are either humans who are using this to try to mind control people, or it means that there are serpent people who have taken the guise of a preacher and are now trying to rally an army, and that this is something Caduceus needed to intervene in and stop. And he showed no sign of surprise that I told him that there was a second layer to this entire thing. It's bizarre. It's almost as if he thought maybe it would have an impact on me if I listened to it. And as I'm thinking back on it now, as things, I brought this to his attention. He told me, of course, he would bring it to Mr. Madam's attention immediately, and within, I'd say, the hour, you saw what happened. But Caduceus has recordings of these broadcasts with subsonic Nicole that are designed to alter people's thoughts and memories to make them do things, and they don't seem concerned about the impact. They seem intrigued about the results, perhaps.
Oklahoma, you say?
Yes. If I remember correctly, it was a small town named Bingham.
Bingham?
Yes, I'm not sure
Sorry,
exactly what that means. Just again, still trying to figure out where everything is. Things have shifted a bit since I was asleep.
No trouble at all. But that is very concerning. I wonder if, yeah, you weren't incorrect to assume that either he was testing you or hoping that it might work on you. This is of little concern, I feel. Uh, Taking everything that we have learned recently, but there was a mob boss that we were invited to dinner with, and it was not a particularly good dinner. But we
Really
he
wasn't.
had concerns about Caduceus. Oh, it was sub. If only they had standards at that restaurant, is all I'm saying. But he was concerned as well about shady goings on, and for a mobster to be concerned about a corporation doing shady things, I think that's quite unusual. Don't know if that
Mhm.
he likely isn't aware of your kind, Tyrannish, or magic for that matter.
What
But
would
that might be another lifeline we have.
There's no way that Goncalves is a snake person, right?
what would they what would they be concerned about with Caduceus?
Um,
Jonathan Giuseppe. I'm sorry, Joseph Giuseppe is his name. Um, the burnt out mob boss who's
mhm.
there for one last job.
One last ride. Uh, Giuseppe Joseph. He was concerned about Caduceus shipping things, doing things under cover of darkness. Um, and it prompted us that if we really wanted to get into it, we could get into it, but we shouldn't trust Madam. But he never
But
gave any specifics.
yeah, at the time it didn't make any sense because we knew that Caduceus was moving things covertly, in part because we were often the things being covertly moved.
Mm-hmm.
It it wasn't a surprise that there was a front for the organization. We were behind the front, so it
Our
wasn't
first
really news.
our first mission was to procure something from the snake. Those were snake people, I'm assuming, at this point.
I'll say this.
The
Yeah,
ones you got into
Uh,
a brawl with, Murphy.
this is also worth noting, just because it's been a minute. One of the things Giuseppe brought to your attention was that he thought it would be worth talking to you because you were new to the organization. He'd seen this going on for a little while. So you are the covert thing that's been moved recently. Uh, what he said implies that this has been going on longer than you.
Hmm.
And like, I know it might be the stupid question, but Wendy did absolutely say there's no way that Goncalves is a snake person.
Oh, you said I said that in character.
Yeah, well, it kind
Yeah.
of both. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Like you would know. You would know.
He doesn't give off that energy. Um, but there are many ways that you can use magic to disguise yourself from even very adept people. It requires specific focus and attention to that detail to find it. Um, in the same
Could you be a puppet?
in the same way, it's if someone is exercising control over another using magic, it could be detected if one is specifically looking for it. It's not something that is easy to notice passively. That's why people do it. And those who are skilled at it are hard to detect. Um, Around this time, you are getting close to the road as you're talking. I don't want to cut the conversation off because you can hang back in the forest and continue your conversation because there's a lot of stuff going on here.
Are,
But as you get
are we
closer to the
gonna
road,
hitchhike? Or like, also, what's the plan when we get to the road? Like,
you're about 100 feet out from the tree line. You're still pretty well concealed by the foliage, but you see another car just puttering up the same road from south to north, right? And it kind of just drives by, and you can hear some music, and it seems like people are like jamming out and laughing, having a good time as they're driving down this road, and then they make a listen check, please, as everyone's kind of getting situated here.
Regular snake people jams
Yeah,
coming from a car.
snake jazz.
That's
That's not my
Okay,
bit.
I
That's
got a regular success, but I'm close.
Same.
If nobody else, okay, yeah.
okay.
Like if we need better, I'm close. I'm only 3 points away from a great success. So just saying.
Gotcha. Snake jazz is not mine. That's a Rick and Morty bit from when they go to a snake planet.
Is it?
It's
Oh.
very silly.
No.
But I'll definitely steal it and use it because it's fun. Sorry, borrow the inspiration and then use it to drive
Enrich.
creativity. You know.
Yes, it belongs to the world now.
Yeah, we're collaborating with concepts. You can't just market you can't like capture intellectual property. You know,
No,
you
no.
can't tell me how to think. I see Will's face. He's like, "The hell are you talking about? We do that all the time."
I failed my my role.
Okay. Wendy's the only person who
Quantify
succeeded.
everything.
No,
No,
I also.
Okay, cool. You don't need to burn any luck on this one. This is there's not anything too crazy behind it. As you hear the car kind of drive away, the music that you hear, you can hear more music and more noise and you realize that you can't quite see it yet, but wherever this car and the other car that went by about 15 minutes ago drove to, they've parked close by because you can hear like car doors closing and people conversing. It's kind of muffled and far away, but you know, there seems to be like a parking lot or a parking area that these people are consolidating at nearby to the north of you.
We found lovers. No. Are they teenagers? Is it bopping music? No.
Good to see you say
We-
with pop
yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Teenagers, at the end of Lover's Lane, and then the five of us come out of the woods. We are the start of the horror movie.
Yeah.
There's a giant
It's
snake
fine.
woman with a hook for her
Be
hand.
not afraid. Be not. We come. We need to borrow your car.
We need your boots and your motorcycle.
Okay, so like they're still okay. So like, do we want to find someone coming by, or do we want to go and say hi to the parked car? Like, cause I don't know if you can hear, but they're stopped up the road. Maybe
Hey,
not
Murphy.
everyone.
Murphy, you're like normal. Can you go investigate?
We're all perfectly normal here.
Normal. What?
Jeez.
I'm a big dude. It's fine. I'll look. I'll go look.
Okay.
What do you want me to roll?
How are you looking? Are you like
What?
Are you like doing some low crawl up to like with binoculars? Or are you just gonna like walk up to the road and just like walk down it? Like I'm just trying to get a vibe of like how he's approaching this.
Is it like
Yeah,
the-
probably. Yeah, I'm gonna walk like Frankenstein
Scooby Doo sneaking.
by the side of the road. No, I'll just kind of walk out and play dumb. Like, where am I? I'm lost camping. Where's the road again?
All right,
I'm
work.
gonna walk up to the road and look. If I see a car, I'm gonna pretend to hitchhike.
I would like you to roll luck, please.
Oh shit! That's a 2.
Okay. This is a cool moment, right? And I'll give you. You step out to the road. This is a nicely well kept road area. Like the dirt path that goes out to the clearing was like clearly made to move stuff out there. You know, just so they could get equipment and people out to that area, right? Clear the forest and stuff like that. But this actual roadway is very nicely constructed. You can see down to the south. There's actually a wall with a control access gate that is being manned, and you can see that there's some dots of headlights in the distance as more cars are kind of heading up this road towards this gate, where there seem to be a couple security guards who have like clipboards and are dressed nicely in like ties and jackets. So you can see them getting settled. And as people come through the gate, the road goes right past this clearing area, and kind of look around and walk up the road a little bit. As the road curves, there's a very large parking lot around that's circular in nature, centered around a very ornate fountain in front of what looks like to be a large manor house with 2 guest houses behind it, right? One on either side.
Like almost like another meeting, like the clubs that we went to in the, like, is that what we're witnessing?
This would make the open mind group look, let's face it, poor. Right?
Well then.
This is a lavish mansion like filled with like beautiful things. You're looking at like the artwork and the decorations and just like the amount of money in the 20s would take to buy this type of real estate, to have these guest houses off to the side, to have this like large 3-story house with like parking for dozens. You probably see like maybe 15 or so vehicles parked out there, and again, more staff or security coming out in like suits and tie. They're just opening car doors for people, and they are starting to escort them inside to this beautiful lit entranceway. As people in like tuxedos and dresses are getting out of these cars and walking in. As you're staring at this, you hear a little beep beep. Hey. As a car behind you kind of like idles up, and you hear like stops next to you, and the window rolls down, and you see Spencer Brooks
Oh, damn.
on the passenger side.
Yeah?
In the back, sorry. And he goes, Murphy, why in the world are you walking? What's going on here? Did you walk all the way out? I know that you're very interested in your cardio, but it is a party. At least put on a jacket.
Listen, I thought I could get some extra miles in. You know, I feel underdressed. I feel like a fool.
Oh. And Saoirse pokes her head around because she's also sitting in the back with him, and she says, "Oh, Murphy, good to see you. Do you know if Cecil's going to be in attendance tonight? I haven't seen him since he got back. Not that I'm not happy to see you, but you know."
No, I get it. Yeah.
Together.
No, we came separately, but I saw him recently, so you'll see him. You'll see him. Oh shoot! You know what? I think I left something. I'll be right back. I'll meet you guys inside, and I'm gonna literally just run into the woods.
Inside the woods.
Yeah, just in the trees is fine.
I mean, I'll run back away from the car and then cut into the woods when I think they can't see me. Maybe that's a little bit more strategic.
Spencer just like kind of shouts out from the window, "If you need an extra jacket, I've got one for you when you're done with your workout. Okay, I'll see you at the house." And you just hear a murmur to, or say to Saoirse, "Yeah, I absolutely adore Murphy, but his workout schedule is so intense, and I just don't know. I guess this is how he finds the time. It makes sense to." And then like the window rolls up and just he drives on, because at the end of the day.
Amazing.
I'm sure Spencer has seen you doing crazy ass workouts in crazy ways in crazy places because your coach is also insane. So,
True.
Good old Wade is not exactly a, go lift things. It's like go, I don't know, take this 1920s style
CrossFit.
dumbbell and walk through the mountains.
Yeah.
Good luck. So yeah, that's the interaction you have. The car drives off towards the house, and you can see like from your spot in like a bush that you jumped into, they go like park, and some people like kind of step up to the car, open it up, and like Saoirse and Spencer get out, and they head into the house.
Do I recognize anyone else, or those are the only ones?
Roll spot hidden.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just picturing Murphy holding up like 2 twigs, like trying.
Accurate.
Well,
Spray of
I'm not
tree.
very stealthy.
the luck check.
91. No.
Okay. The luck check was literally, hey, is this gonna be a weird conversation or
Bill
a
Burnham would come to Dunsinane kind of a bullshit.
yeah? Is Spencer gonna have a lot of questions, or is he just gonna be like, nah, it's cool, it's just Murphy doing Murphy shit?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to everyone else and report back and say we need to get in there.
Yeah,
That's our in.
you look at a couple other you see more people arriving. You don't recognize anybody specifically. You've seen them around. You think that like a couple people are Caduceus employees, right? Like you've been like, oh yeah, that's the guy that like took my badge that one time when Frank wasn't around, or like, oh yeah, that's the dude that brought up beverages when we were in the library dealing with all that research. What's his name? Ah. That's that super friendly cab driver that wanted to talk to me for a while. Kind of deal. So
Kerbin.
Kirby.
Kervin.
We kept on getting his name wrong. I actually don't remember. It may have been Kevin. I don't know anymore.
I'm pretty sure it was Kevin. It might be Gary. Gary. I'm pretty sure it's Kevin. We can review the tape. That's always good.
Okay, 2 seconds, party people. I'll be right back.
Yeah, let's take a 5-minute break here.
Yes.
As we kind of like
Sorry.
some time. We've been
I
going
was
for a minute.
trying to sneakily say
So-
that, and it didn't work. So yes, thank you.
It is all good. Yeah, let's take 5. We'll be back and continue our shenanigans.
All right.
Be right back. Back. Here we are. We're live again, continuing this epic adventure. Literally dying from stress. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Like, as someone who regularly loves to coat themselves in stress, so I can just like use it as my Gundam armor to just amplify my attacks. It's bad. Been told that is not a healthy way to approach things.
Yeah, it's not.
No. But counterpoint: how do you power up your Kamehameha attacks?
Me personally?
I'm so stressed out.
I see. Yes, a good strategy.
100%. Please don't do anything I advise. Yeah, a little bit of self-destruction as a treat. Anyway,
Sorry, that was on mute. Coping skills.
coping.
There's a meme out there about buying more piñatas because nothing helps stress like beating the shit out of something, and then at the end there's candy.
Yo.
Smart.
Yo.
Is that revelatory for you?
It's kind of like that moment when you realize you're an adult and you can just buy a cake, fuck it, like no one can stop you. I can just buy a piñata and stuff it full of candy and then beat the shit out of it and eat the candy. No, like we can have a piñata party and just beat the shit out of things, light the piñata on fire when we're done. Who cares? And eat this candy.
So very important, totally side story bit. My like worst joke ever, but one of the ones that I'm so proud of. When my sister was pregnant, and we found out, I sent my brother-in-law because they make piñatagrams. If you did not know this, there is a company called Piñatagram, and they will send a little piñata. Yeah. If you didn't know that, there's also like seasonal ones. You can get like a reindeer but I sent him the unicorn one. With a little congratulations, you knocked up my sister, because I thought it was funny, and it had like the Smarties and stuff on the inside, and I don't know what he did with it, but like I have since sent other ones, but never will it be as good as the terrible pun of the knocked up piñata. So yes,
I greatly appreciate that.
Mhm.
You gotta do it for the bit or the gram. Like that's really all it is. Like,
I mean, I was hoping they were gonna like frame the stupid thing, but you know, like this is important and a signal of the time, but yeah.
Make a nice wooden shadow box for
A little
that.
shot. It was the unicorn one too. Like it wasn't even like fringed papel like one, but nope.
I think that
They
was
might
very
still have it,
thoughtful.
but it is not on display,
I
and
love
that is silly.
I love it though.
Mhm.
So quick.
Piñatagram for all of your
We're
gift giving
not
needs.
sponsored.
We're not
No,
sponsored.
but like if
Yeah.
you wanted to pinatagram,
We can talk about
$25
pinatas
pinata.
as much as we need to during this gameplay.
No.
Pinatagram.
like
I
we
will,
can have one that's like swinging behind each of us.
I
Like
will gladly, I will gladly
$5,
talk.
one good whack.
I will gladly talk about any and all things that exist out there in terms of products. If they just give us money that we can slam into different charitable things. So until then,
Did we get any good? I haven't
I
got
don't
the Twitch thing open. Any suggestions for stuff to work in or what have you?
Not
Or we're
yet.
just relying on the Kelly Murphy patented fisticuffs.
Oh no.
Oh yes,
Fisticuffs
this is
phrases.
a grand time
I
to
don't
ask
have
for
any
suggestions.
prepared. No. Oh god.
maybe not.
I did ask for some Snake Jazz lyrics, and
Oh,
we did get some.
did I miss that?
It's a little
I'm not
further
keeping
up.
up with the chat.
So,
Okay. Oh yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
In fact, you know,
It's,
that's not even scatting. That's lyrics, like full on poetic. Yes.
it's both.
Yeah.
It's both musical score and lyrics in the call, of course. So,
Hmm.
For those of you who are just jumping in, welcome to the party. Our heroic adventurers have left the Caduceus headquarters building at the end of the last session by jumping through a portal with Tyranish, who was in a bad situation, basically saying Caduceus has betrayed us, has been lying to you and is betraying us, whereas the Caduceus guards were saying Tyranish has gone rogue, we need to put her down. So the party said, nope, we're going with Tyranish, and poof, teleported. Had some issues going from point A to point B because Tyranish was badly wounded, because turns out gunshots are bad for you. But the players kind of channeled together like purpose, direction, and motivation, and pushed through and actually got out of a existing portal, which led them to this clearing where they'd found statues of people who were frozen in place, except their eyes were still moving and very much alive. The eyes were alive. They may not be. Who knows? But that was the thing they had to deal with. And now, as they're kind of like working their way out of this clearing towards a nearby road where they could see vehicles traveling from south to north, they're realizing that like there are vehicles coming into a gated estate that the players are actually on at the moment, and those vehicles are driving up to a very nice manor house with like two guest houses kind of situated behind it. Kelly did a little extra investigating, got onto the road, and ID'd that like multiple members of Caduceus staff were there, but they're showing up in like suits and ties and dresses and looking very dapper. And ran into his buddy Spencer Brooks, who was on the way to the party with his date Saoirse, who were like, "Yo, Kelly, why are you like this?"
Many have wondered.
No one will know.
But was like, "All right, cool. See you at the party. You get your workout in. I get it, man." And that's where we left off. So,
How many licks does it take? Yes.
oh, another key thing too is that Cecil remembered that Joshua met him, who doesn't talk about his personal life very much at all. Had mentioned at one point in time in an interview 13 years prior when he established Caduceus that he was going to make, he was trying to make the world a better place for his family, and his daughter Rose met him. And everyone went, holy crap, the person we've been communicating on and off with these tablets in the Vale has called herself Rose. So we think there's a very intense connection there because she has a lot of feelings about Medham, and he has a lot of reactions to her name. So take with that.
As robotic as they might be.
Might be father and daughter. So is the thought there. But we got a party to go to, so let's do that. Kelly.
Surprised we're invited.
Spencer's got a jacket for you when you show up. You go back to the rest of the group to relay what you've seen and what's going on. What do you tell them?
I tell him exactly what happened. That I had a very lovely conversation with Spencer, and that Saoirse was there, looking stunning as always.
Mhm.
I'm confused, but I played it off like I wasn't, and told them I needed to go for a jog. So we need to get in there because they probably are in at the party, even though we're all underdressed.
Are we
And
underdressed? We just had a meeting with Medum.
am I underdressed?
We just got off the boat and had a meeting with Madam, though.
Yeah, I feel like you were in traveling clothes, but like nicer clothes. I mean, it's the 30s, so like you're gonna be in like hat and jacket
I need
anyway.
a jacket.
Um,
Maybe I'm the only one underdressed.
there wasn't this definitely wasn't a boardroom suit and tie executive meeting. This was a thank you for coming back at midnight. Let me make sure you guys are good and then go. But I mean, you're all dapper people, so I assume you're dressed well. Seeing Wendy's face, like,
Cecil
well,
is.
actually.
Cecil is.
Yeah. But you could probably
Yeah, Wendy is totally planning on trying to like steal some driver's hat and call it a day. Yeah.
Cecil and Oliver could probably get away with like the attire you're wearing to get into a party. Maybe find a hat or like acquire a tie from somebody, but like you're 90% of the way there. Wendy and Murphy, a little more polish necessary. Tyrannish is wearing Wendy's tiny jacket and a hat and kind of makeshift scarf shawl.
Tyrannish is also an
Um,
8-foot serpent woman.
Yeah, she's not exactly.
How are we gonna-
someone
She doesn't need to
hot.
dress for the occasion. She's in here.
She is the occasion.
There
Oh.
it is.
Christ.
So, I mean,
Okay. We must get in there. Like I've got to see Saoirse. We should probably report to Spencer, but
And
I
we
mean-
saw other people from Caduceus. Like this is definitely a party of.
I didn't recognize anyone else, so that might be a little bit of a gamble, but
they're definitely like employees, but yeah.
we could
Okay.
check it out on approach.
It might have been something that the keeper said when he was giving the recount, and that's why I'm putting that. No, it's fine. Yeah.
I'm just wondering. I mean, Tyrannish. I don't know what kind of power you have, but could you make yourself look like one of us in order to get in there?
That's a great question.
We understand
Or
that
disguise
police level-
yourself so you don't. We don't want you captured, but also we have to understand there might be chance of us getting captured and reported.
We could split the group.
If I go
Oh,
into
that's a great idea.
if I go into that house and Kyle Vase is there, I am going to kill him.
Cool.
I have
that
become
may change
less
your
opposed to
plans.
that idea. Yeah.
That may change your plans, but I don't have to go to the party. But if he is there, she like, again, kind of touches the side of her, or touches her side where she was shot multiple times, and says, he owes me blood.
That is warranted, I would say. Although perhaps a little impolite at a party. You could be covert about it, and we could, supposing he is there, we could. Maybe this is just the war talking, but we could lead him aside to speak to him and take care of him that way.
I wonder if
Good
we
way.
could, like, sort of circumvent a valet taking the car. I'd be happy to drive it, but instead of the usual, finding parking or moving on to their next passenger, if we could intercept what would normally be their reception onto the drive or the walk into the house, if we could take the keys and steal the car with intention to bring it back, maybe.
Are you suggesting that we skip the party entirely?
It wouldn't have to be all of us. If obviously, if you need to make sure that we all need to make sure that Saoirse is safe, and probably Spencer, and Spencer. Sorry, Murphy. But Tyrannish wouldn't necessarily have to go into the party if we can both secure our getaway and a way to avoid being as
I like this.
blatantly noticeable.
I like this line of thinking, Wendy.
Well thought out. How do we split it? I mean, obviously I'm going inside.
Yes, but
Murphy,
right
you
now,
were seen, so you need to attend.
Cecil, Mr. Lord. Sorry, Wendy would not have said Cecil. Mr. Lord Davenport. You might be our best bet to help commandeer the car, though. If we can make it seem like maybe you're greeting the people coming out, or of the.
Wendy, there's a dozen cars parked over there. You can steal one.
Well, okay, yeah. I guess the ones that don't have drivers in them, I suppose. Yes.
Cool.
Okay. I was thinking of like getting one while they were pulling up, but that's smarter. That's smarter. Yes.
Path of least resistance.
Yeah.
I say, Wendy.
Tyrannish, perhaps you and I can.
Wendy does have fast talk. I know it doesn't seem like it because the player does not have it, but Wendy does. Yeah.
Perhaps you and I could proceed to one of the outbuildings, and I'll see about tending some of your wounds a little bit more thoroughly than we were able to in the void.
I think that is the best option, to remain close by to help, but yes, that would be. She you can see now that you're back in like a place with normal time flow that she is healing, which is kind of cool. But again, still gunshot wounds still take time, right? But she's not like bleeding out, even with like the medical care that Wendy did. Like she's still. Looks pretty good for someone who got shot up a bunch of times with like a 38. But you've also noticed this has happened before with other snake people where they're pretty resilient when it comes to getting shot. It's just you shot them with a lot of stuff, and eventually their resiliency fails. They have armor. So.
All right. So the plan is, Wendy, you're going to be commandeering a vehicle for us. With enough room in the back for us to get Tyrannish in, I will. Is it Murphy? Murphy, you and I will be going inside. We'll be reconnoitering. I'm gonna check on Saoirse, and Doctor, you're going to see if you can heal Tyrannish a little bit more, and then we'll convene back here in. He is an hour too long.
How about
polite.
in an hour we will drive the car into the drive to pick up our party goers?
Sounds like a fine idea.
Okay.
All right.
Ready, break.
Yes. Should anything go awry, though, do we have a backup plan of some sort?
Get out?
Murphy hits the driver really hard. I take the keys, we steal the car, and we just go.
Just a random driver?
I mean, at that point, with a big enough car to fit all of us in it, ideally somebody that looks skinny or sickly or in really bad need of a nap.
I mean, okay.
A little dark for you, Wendy.
I'm not gonna bully anyone.
Looks like he can kill you is a marshmallow. Looks like a marshmallow could kill you.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Tyrannish looks at Kelly and says, "If you could please describe what the servants look like."
I will describe what the servants look like.
Oh, one of the security people.
Oh, do you mean one of the people from Caduceus?
No,
the ones who take your coats and your cars, and had them escort him all around. She's referring to security guards, the people who are opening car doors, all that stuff that you saw, right? Her terminology is not servants. They're servants, right?
Yeah. No, like, that's
Interns and
what
servants are the same thing,
Wendy's
right?
suggesting. Like, I'm suggesting she picks describes one of the security guards, like with the clipboard. Like, one of the people at the gate. Pick, like, if you can look like one of the people at the gate.
Yes, they work for free, and you give them, you let them be here. They're servants. They're not interns. It's the same thing to me. It's fine.
We'll touch on that a bit later. Yeah, Your Majesty.
Yeah, Kelly, one of the
What do you call servants?
one of the
here?
guys with the checking people in to the gate.
Yes, I will describe that person to Ranish.
Okay. Yeah, you give me a good description of, and then she changes as you're describing it, right? It's actually not weird in like, she doesn't like morph, or her skin doesn't get all crazy and weird. She just basically throws up what looks like a very simple and clean illusion or veil, right? As you're describing, like, okay, they've got like brown hair, about yay tall, wearing this kind of suit, and like it's literally just like from top to bottom, her appearance just kind of changes. The scarf and jacket she's wearing just melds over into like a dark gray suit with like a tie, slacks, all that stuff. She's, even with the magic, still stands about like 7 feet tall. Like, it reduces her height a little bit, but it's still pretty damn big. Like, looking eye level with Murphy kind of deal. I don't think Murphy's 17.
Cool.
Yeah, but she's like, that's the best I can do on short notice. And as she moves, you notice she moves very carefully. There's a couple times.
Human-like or nah?
It looks as if when she is moving, she's making sure the image rendered follows her.
Oh.
She moves with a
Creepy.
little extra caution because there's an overlay here. It's like basically putting your like background, your fake background on your little Zoom thing, and then like you move too much, it blurs. That's that.
Got a filter on.
Yeah, she puts on a filter. So
Cecil goes up to her and he says, "If anybody asks you anything, just do the best you can, obviously. If you don't know how to answer a question, or if somebody says something rude, the best thing you can do is smile, and if you want to be really offensive to them, wink. And they won't know what to make heads or tails of it."
I've seen a few times in interactions. Sorry, I suppose I should. I've seen a few times in interactions. I don't like that at all. I'll just not talk.
Adorable.
Smiling is the best weapon you can have.
Nods and looks at Oliver. Where to?
Okay.
So yeah, you've got this tall, broad-shouldered, weird rendered security person with you, and the two of you are able to split your groups, right? I think there's enough going on. I'll do the main house first, and then the little side house, right? Mm-hmm. So the three of them split off, kind of. Well, just make yourself look prim and proper enough, right? There's enough going on up there that you can kind of insert yourself into the mix and not draw too much scrutiny. I mean, Wendy, you've worked like you're a driver. You've been to bigger parties where like the pure chaos of the parking situation is just like carefully controlled on a razor's edge, and like if it goes wrong, like people start shouting and like tempers flare, and they're like, "Where the hell's my car? It was 20 minutes." Like, there's a lot of just very carefully orchestrated things to avoid inconveniencing anybody who's here. So
yeah, so like as we're walking up, I'm gonna like be clocking the like, okay, so this is who's taking keys, like this is what happens if they're driving to the parking lot, like where are they putting the keys when they're taking, like I can do spot hidden or whatever.
You've done this enough. You look at the situation. They pull up around the circular fountain. The VIPs get out of the car, and either the driver goes in with them if the driver is someone who actually just wants to drive their car to this occasion. And tosses the keys off to one of the security people who takes it. And then they park the car off to the side, basically, if the main area off to the like left or western area of the parking lot. It's about like maybe a couple 100 feet down the road. Like, it's still very easily accessible. But they pull up, they get off their red carpet experience, and then like someone takes the car to a parking lot, where it's like organized in little space areas, and then there are like two main valets who are organizing the keys. They're lined up with like little, basically placards where cars have been parked.
Yep, got it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So easy enough, and it just goes and goes and goes. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna tell Tyrannus to, you don't have to keep up with me, just follow, and no matter what I say, make it seem like I am a huge problem. Very annoying, need to be dealt with as fast as you can. Okay. Total stretch, I know. Okay. So, and like, Wendy's gonna kind of like, so we're gonna wait until the car that brought Saoirse and Spencer is definitely in the parking lot.
Yeah, they dropped off. They headed inside.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna like jog, like frenetically jog up to the little like valet hut. I'm so sorry. I need the car placard for the Brooks car right away, as fast as you can possibly, like, if you would.
Yeah. What's going on with the Brooks car? Is there?
They just arrived. The Lady Davenport is not feeling well, and they will be leaving the party presently. But we need to make sure that the car is ready as soon as she leaves the house.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. Hey, Jimmy. Yeah.
How long does it take you to check a register? I already described, like, and I'm gonna like turn over my shoulder to the like guard. I already described the situation. Like, I was told this would be handled already.
We're handling it. Jimmy, look, it's lot 6. Just gonna get the the silver one. Yeah.
I'll get it. I'm driving them out of here. I can pull the car out of the parking lot, but with like keys, please.
Real fast talk.
Yeah. Da 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 da. Bloop. Okay, 22, which makes that a great success. Keys, please.
Yeah, it's gonna take Jimmy a minute anyway. He's not good at parallel parking here.
And that's unfortunate for your staff. You can call me next time. Keys, please.
He hands you the keys.
Thank you. Do you? And I'm going to turn around and look at Tyrannus. Do you need to see me to the car?
No.
You said you needed to see me to the car. I promise I'm not stealing it. My license is in the fold down the sunshade, whatever the fuck that's called. Yeah.
Yes.
Tyrannus and her Oscar moment.
All right, and then I'm gonna like.
You're taking a 1,000-year-old, like a 10,000-year-old snake serpent priestess who's been in like lost in time and space until about like 3 months ago, and is just trying to figure out like basic U.S. geography and how things work. Put her into a disguise situation where she's trying to chill at a party. It's so good.
I'm gonna like jingle the keys in front of me and be like, all right, then let's hop to it. It's right over. It's lot. You said lot 6, spot 6, spot 6. And
yeah, it's spot 6.
So now we're gonna like officiously march towards wherever spot 6 apparently is. Like,
they start marching off. She says in a low voice to you, "I thought you said we were going to hop. I'll follow you. You're doing great."
Figurative language. Figurative language. Okay. All right. All right.
Okay,
So
yeah.
like
you managed to
I'm
get
gonna
the car. You don't get any more trouble
unlock.
out of anybody.
I'm gonna get her situated in the back first.
Okay. And she like
Like
crouches
far
in.
side of the car, so hopefully the people from the hut, if they are being like, "The hell is that bitch doing?" Like so get her situated in the back so she's at least like comfortable and has some space. And go around to the front and like take whatever the driver left to make me look official and get that
Hat.
situated. Like, oh yeah, a hat. Okay, cool. And then like there's a little name taggy card. Great. Okay. All right. They said an hour, but they are telling us that I'm supposed to be circling up in the drive. Okay, so we're gonna do a couple circles. And I'm gonna pull out and we'll do like a promenade through the drive where it's like, oh nope, not like dropping off here, and then like we'll wait a little bit ways down the road.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, you are set up and basically in position. What are the rest of you doing?
Going to party.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I get this correct, you're going to pick them up, drop them off, like they're going to the party, correct? Is that? I'm trying to make sure I follow the plan. So you stole a car so you can pick them up to drop them off at the party.
That actually wasn't what I was thinking, but I can happily. They were just. So if we're headed down the road, we're headed back to, like, I guess where they are in the woods, and I'll like do a little boop boop and.
Okay, and then so Cecil and Murphy just like come right out of the woods and jump into a car to go. It works. There's nobody else on this road. It's a pretty big estate, and there's like not a lot going on unless you're at the party house.
Anybody
Crazy
did see
here.
us? Go ahead. If anybody did see us, Cecil would have been like, so sorry, we forgot something inside.
Fantastic. I mean, you're actually in a good spot because this whole thing is about how Miss Davenport's not feeling well, and then suddenly Cecil Davenport shows up. Like you get a lot of credibility to back your line.
And theoretically, you're extricating her, right?
Yeah.
So.
Also, point of order for Oliver. I should say once the car was procured and everything was done, she was going to like cut off and meet you at the other guest house area. So
yeah, I was a little bit. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver, was just lost in thought, and I assume we'll catch up to the plot at some point.
It's all good. So yeah, you're able to circle around and be able to bring in Cecil and Murphy, and drop them off at the front with ease if you'd like to.
Yeah. So Tyrannish is still in the car. So are we hiding her like under coats and stuff? Okay.
Honestly, I think she gets out. I think when you get the car, she just gets out and goes with Oliver. At that point, she's like,
yeah. I mean, like, I wouldn't leave her like in the woods on her own, but yeah, like, okay, with Oliver.
She gets out and joins Oliver and says, "Okay, you have the car now," and like continues to have the illusion in place. And then Oliver and Tyrannish start kind of working their way because there's a lot of woods around this property. I think just take the scenic route to the nearest guest house. Cool.
Okay.
So the three of you arrive at the front of this party area. Wendy, you were driving with Cecil and Murphy in the back. What do?
Pull up to the drive for their like entrance bit, and I will like I guess flash the station person. Like, no, I will be parking.
Very good. Murphy, shall we?
Let's go.
Okay.
And Cecil gets out like he's finally getting like a child finally getting out of a schoolhouse and finally like getting outside, arriving home. It's like the day before summer break comes up. He just looks like he's in his element and he's here for it. So he like smiles and like waves at anybody who might be nearby as they walk down the carpet.
Hey, roll psychology.
Yes.
Murphy too.
Oh, okay. Just a regular success.
Sorry, keep turning off and on.
Oh, no
So
worries. I can roll
we're
forward if you
good.
like.
I'm still here. No, I rolled. I
Okay.
have to find where everything is every time this happens. Okay. No, it's a 51 over a 10.
Seems fine. Cecil, you step out and you get situated. You start walking into the front hall of this nice party. This the hustle and bustle. People like getting escorted in, taking coats, getting settled. You can hear music and you can hear conversation coming from the inside. And a couple of the staff personnel, as you step out of the car with Murphy, like give you a double take. Like they're surprised to see you.
Oh.
And very quickly, like, look, and when they make eye contact with you and you smile at them, they go, like, they get smile back, but they're, like, caught off guard by the fact that you've just got out of this car and decided to show up to this party. You're giving Murphy the kind of the same looks. Murph's in the zone. He's got that, like, post-workout high, drinking his protein shake, you know, he's just vibing.
Cecil kind of
shakes
like
hands.
Cecil kind of like laughs like at a private joke, and then like turns over, like goes like this, and like whispers to Murphy, is like, they recognize us. They're surprised to see us that we're here. Probably means that we're not supposed to be here. So we might want to make our work short here.
Stick to the walls, find who we need to, and get out.
Yes. All right. We got this.
All right. I'll keep an eye out for any trouble coming our way.
Thank you so much for that.
When did
And
I'm sorry. When do you park, or do you park and go in with them, or do you park and hang out in the car?
Oh, no. Well, because the one that would leave Tyrannus. So, not actually pull into their parking lot. I'm also gonna leave again and go a little bit down, like the drive.
Okay.
Oh, out like outside the guard station. But
So you got the getaway vehicle secured, basically. Okay.
well, and like not waiting in the parking lot because they would have seen or come back up.
Yeah.
And
No, this is a huge estate. You can easily like circle back down the road and like pull off and just
like
be hidden.
like, I'm sorry, she left the party. She's like, a little bit too much from the. Be fine. Just need a minute. Thanks.
Too easy. Yeah. Cecil and Murphy, you head inside, right? Doors are open. Like I said, there's music coming from inside. When you step into the main lobby, you notice a couple things. One, this place is just filled with like just elaborate displays of wealth and grandeur, right? There's just beautiful art. There are everyone here is dressed impeccably, right? Even some of the Caduceus people you recognize that you just like run into. Someone comes who's like taking your, sign a hand. Someone who's had you sign a hand receipt or like check something in for you. You're like, oh yeah, that face. I recognize Crystal, Carrie, Chrissy. All dressed very very nicely for this evening affair. In the center of the foyer walking in is a 3D is a beautiful sculpture of the Caduceus logo itself, sitting there, and you can see now walking circling around the party. There's Dr. Goncalves shaking hands with people as they're coming in. A lot of people seem to be centered around him, like he's some type of VIP. And are eager to talk to him. There's a lot of kind of like a bubble following him around. But as the two of you kind of like glance around, you can see people handing out drinks and getting people situated as you walk in the door, taking your coats. You recognize Evelyn Hall, right? You haven't seen her in a minute. In her, very trademark sleek black dress and matching black hair with one of those like extended cigar.
Long
Holders.
cigarette holder.
Cigarette holder, thank you. And she like looks at the two of you, kind of gives you like a little wink, like, "What's up?"
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Cecil
How's it going?
Cecil kind of like locks eyes with her green eyes, if I remember correctly, and
Mhm.
kind of like winks back, kind of like with respect.
Yeah. No, it's just like it's a very cool like gesture of, yeah, all right, you're here. in the rest of the party, you kind of look around and get situated. You see, Frank DeLuca is there, not in his security chief role. He's there in like an actual tux with a nice bow tie and everything, talking to people as well. And he seems like he's working. He's got a couple people around him, and he's like giving them look like instructions. They look like staff, but he's still dressed as a party goer, right?
Mm-hmm.
The security are wearing their same like gray jacket, black ties. They're very easy to pick out. Staff are wearing red jackets. Sorry, last thing. As you look around, you do not see Quentin. Right, he is just absent from this party. You see Saoirse, you see Spencer as you kind of walk around a bit, because it opens up to like sitting rooms and large dining area with a table filled with like elaborate and delicious. Oh man, my words are failing me. It's because my brain's finally dying from the lack of sleep. Filled with delicious like finger foods and sandwiches and stuff like that, right?
Vol au vent.
Thank you. That was the word I was looking for.
Was it?
No,
Damn.
not at all.
Yeah.
But it's a good word. But yeah, you don't see Quentin. You see Saoirse and Spencer. You see Dr. Goncalves. You see Frank DeLuca. You see Evelyn Halls. And then just a mix of about maybe 50 more Caduceus staff, all milling about throughout the area. They nod and smile at you. Same deal though. Some of the security members, as you walk in, like give you a look, like they're a little surprised to see you. What do you do?
Murphy.
Oh, I do have a question.
Oh,
I know I'm
yeah.
not there, but the bubble around Goncalves, like, does it feel like they're like hanging on his every word, kind of a like? What does that look like? Like, is it just he happens to be in the center of a group of people? Or are they like enchanted with him, as it were? I'm not there, so I can't roll for it. But somebody else with better psychology could probably roll for it.
At the moment, he seems to be like the life of the party or the guest of honor. That's it's easy enough to tell. Like everyone is making a point to go over and shake his hand and talk to him, and they want a piece of his time and attention. So. Yeah.
Murphy, how much you want to bet that this might be Madam's home?
That's a real strong chance.
That's highly likely, I think.
Agreed. I'm going to catch Spencer and Saoirse here. Let's see if we can find a side room to kind of talk to them.
All right. I'll take a look around while you're kind of grabbing them.
All right.
And I'll wave you in if I find one.
Cool. As you start to get situated and look around, I'm going to cut over to Oliver and Tyrannish. All right. Actually, do me a favor for the two of you as you're in the party. Roll charm or fast talk. Yeah, or appearance, depending on which one is higher for you. As you're just socializing, just seeing how your party vibe is.
What were they again?
Charm,
fast talk, or appearance.
You can do it. I'm leaving you.
I'm trying to give you a shotgun spread of nonsense to like really.
Can I assist?
Yeah.
Can I use intimidate?
Oh man, that's great.
I'm not against it. It's a different vibe for sure.
Yeah, it's a regular success under intimidate.
It's very much the difference between like, yeah, we're just here to party and have fun, and someone like breaking off like part of their heel and being like, I'll stab you if you touch my friend. Okay, cool. We're having a good time. You're not involved in this. Like, okay. Regular success.
I almost kind of see...
People give you some space.
I almost kind of see Murphy is like in a dark corner, and if somebody comes by, he like growls audibly and like, no.
Hey,
like
sir,
Strider style.
Sir, you want a drink or something? Okay. All right. Well, you have a good night then.
I decided to go with appearance because it's crazy high, and I got a 12, and that's my exceptional success. So, Lord Davenport, like, saunters in, moves gracefully through the crowds, and kind of like taps Saoirse from behind, and is like, "Dear sister, you forget about me." And yeah,
Cool. We'll pause there and switch over to what's going on here? There we go. Oliver, you go with Tyrannus. She keeps up the illusion, and the two of you kind of work your way around the wood line to. It's like it's at the manor house, and then there's the two houses behind. I have a graphic for this. Unfortunately, I broke my other overlay, so I'll have it up next time. So, uh, side story. There was a point where before I started my super stream of death, where I broke the resolution on my overlays somehow. I don't know what I did, and I had to go and fix that. And like Will was very helpful because I like ended up hitting him up, and I was like, I don't know how this happened, but I'm really upset about it. And then like the result was like also all this stuff started to just shotgun blast all over the place. So like this overlay, while we were talking beforehand, I was like literally moving everything back into place because like it just lost its effing mind. So I was like, well, I got one up, we're good.
Help! I need an adult.
I need an adult. I don't know why like the Lord Cecil Davenport name tag has like expanded 20 times its size and decided to prioritize itself over everything else on the overlay. I don't know why this is happening. So
It also rolled charm.
and I could not ignore it.
great success.
Yes, it's in your face, Cecil Davenport. All right. Cool.
Tyrannish, I know you don't like to reveal information unless it's necessary, but I do have some medical skill as well as some magical. Could you give me an approximate sense of your injuries and how drained you are of power?
She gives you a look. It's kind of appraising, but this is like, okay, that's an insightful question. And she says, I am I am badly hurt. I definitely won't succumb to my injuries thanks to the treatment that Wendy gave me and the time that has passed. But I'm not in any type of peak physical or spiritual condition. Traveling through portals takes a lot of energy. Traveling through portals with multiple people unexpectedly takes a lot more. I was happy to do
Understood.
it, but I am. And like, now you can see as you're looking at this like low resolution, just kind of like shitty illusion that she has crafted. This like again, eons old serpent priestess who literally with like a flick of her hand disintegrated or like destroyed like a thing you were fighting in Bolivia. Can't properly render the right resolution for her illusion. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
she's pretty tapped out.
Yeah, so I'm going to, I think as we come up to pick one of the two guest houses, just kind of, I don't have very much in the way of stealth, but try and sort of sidle up to a window, kind of peek in sort of side-eyed and see if I can see an empty room at least for us to get in out of the cold, if you will.
Go ahead and roll stealth. And as you're doing that, she's still kind of talking because you're just a bit of a walk. She says,
Yeah,
"You're-"
I'm not stealthy.
Okay, fail. Got it. She says, "You are a lot more insightful than you let on, and I enjoy that about you. It seems a lot of your kind just accept the things as they are and as they see them, and don't question the why behind or the deeper meaning. I suppose in a short way of saying this is I very much respect you, Mr. Inverness. Okay.
Oliver's just going to sort of kind of lean back for a second and cross his arms and just say, I know just enough to be dangerous to myself, and hopefully not enough to be dangerous to others of my kind. So far, you have been honest with us and helpful and to a certain, in your own way, loyal, and I appreciate that greatly. I don't know where we're going to end up, but I think that we can help each other get there, at least for now. And he's going to, uh, I guess, just kind of peek in, looking back into the window or what have you, listen, see if there's anything kind of. He'll sort of like do one of these, like, okay, now, shh, quiet, nice snake lady. Um, we need to break into this building.
um, you approach this guest house. You go up to one of the windows and you go to look inside to see what it is you're dealing with. It was kind of hard to tell. It was just kind of getting darker, and it's lit up, but it's not necessarily the hubbub of all the action right now. The hub of all the action. Sorry. But you get close, you realize like the windows on this guest house are shuttered shut. And they have steel bars on them. And when you look at the door looks reinforced, and you can see an outline of steel welding that's been put around it. But you think you could maybe pry part of the shutters and like get a look underneath. It may draw some attention. If there's somebody in there, it wouldn't exactly be the quietest thing. Right. But very quickly you realize this is not a normal guest house at all. You can hear. Oh, go ahead and roll listen, actually. This is what this is for.
That does not get me anywhere.
Rolling roll as well. Nothing.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. It would seem that this building is fortified. As interesting as that is, should we perhaps try the other?
Turnus thinks. Says, I want to know in this moment if it is Goncalves or Medum who is actually the problem here. If Goncalves is simply acting on Medum's behalf, she gestures towards the guest house. It seems like whatever is in here will help us learn more. They're taking great care to keep others out.
All right. Well then, I'll guess I'll just try and pry one of the shutters open a little bit and risk making some noise. There's cars driving around, people, glasses being clinked together. Why not?
She's gonna help you out, right? What that means is that the illusion that she's currently wearing like gets even like clunkier as she just basically puts in super low res mode. But the area around you for about 10 feet goes deathly quiet. Like all the ambient noise of like the party and like the woodland area is just like turned off, basically. Um,
Okay. So is it just like a strength check to see if I can pry this thing open?
you can open it.
Okay.
Yeah. So you start to pry a bit. It would be noisy as you like connect and pry. It makes no noise at all, right? Whatever's happening is just the sound is being dampened.
Hmm.
And as you pry it open just a little bit, right? Because it would be a strength check to rip this thing open for sure, but like just to pry the shutter open a bit,
Yeah. Okay.
um, crack it open, and you can see a couple silhouettes inside moving around. Um, they're probably talking, but you can't seem to hear anything right now.
Hmm.
You also see in the center of this room, right, from the weird view you have, seems to be like a dais with a pit in front of it, and you catch a glimpse of what looks like stonework. um, and like there's something kind of hanging over this thing that's been built, but it's hard to see from the angle that you've got. It's just like, what the fuck is that? But there's like a looming something statue there.
Hmm. Definitely not a normal guest house, and I'll relay this all to Renish. At least two people moving inside. Um, some sort of, I don't know, stone fixture with some kind of hole in front of it. Could be a well, maybe? I don't know.
She says,
In any case,
if there are people inside, I'm going to drop the magic that's keeping things quiet.
yes, please.
Be aware that she kind of like takes a breath and like very carefully lets it out, and then like the sound slowly turns back on. It's like you're just dialing back up the mixer, and then stabilizes to like normal volumes. And you can hear like hushed conversation, which um, becomes at a more normal volume. You can hear a very familiar voice saying, I want you to make sure that Mr. Shapiro's priorities are realigned with ours. It's been a lot of incidents recently where things have not gone the way I would like them to, and that needs to stop. I have an agenda, and I will not be hindered by things as common as mistakes.
Met him?
Make sure. Yeah, 100%. Make sure he is ready for tonight. You don't hear a response, but the other silhouette is bigger, so you can guess who it is. Tyranish looks at you
Fuck her.
and just goes, like,
Don't kill him. Wait.
we need to get the others out of here.
Well,
We need to get Quentin out of here.
yes. So, let's come around the side here, wait for Joshua to leave.
Yeah,
Then we'll deal with the big fellow.
you cut off to the side, kind of like, this is fun. Okay. Yeah, you head off to the side, you wait a few minutes, about 15 minutes passes, right? Eventually the doors, you hear a clunk, clunk, they open up, and they're very heavy, and Joshua, in very, very dapper evening wear, I usually see him in the office in a very nice suit anyway, comes striding out, and you can hear his familiar, like, step click, as he's walking with his cane. Looks around, kind of just inhales and proceeds to walk on towards the house as the doors close behind him. As someone closes the doors behind him, I should say. But definitely takes a moment to like
collect himself or like smell.
Great question. So.
Yikes.
And heads towards the house. So I'll cut back to Cecil and Murphy real quick. Actually, do me a favor. When do you roll luck for me, please? We're close to 9. Okay.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Okay. It is a regular 6.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, everything seems fine so far. No issues. Cecil, you tap Saoirse's shoulders. She turns, Spencer turns, and she gives you a big smile, right, as she sees you, and gives you a hug. Very happy to run into you. Of course, Spencer looks over at Murphy and like, it's like, hey, I'm glad you made it, and like casually hands you a jacket that he brought in for you. He's just kind of had draped over his arm. It's like, I know that you're more comfortable in gym clothes, but it is a black tie affair, and it's for the boss. So.
You're right. As I'm putting it on, I'm gonna kind of casually touch the pockets, see if there's anything in the jacket.
Oh, cool. Hey, oh man, that is interesting. Roll luck.
That's real slick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just seeing how it fits.
Yeah, 100%.
Touching every pocket.
100%.
Okay, it's a success, but barely.
All right, where is it? As you get to his pockets, there's not much in there's like in terms of you catch a couple like crumpled up pieces of paper. They're like receipts, right? You kind of feel that, and then one of the things you feel is a kind of heavy, thick metal key. It's just been like in the inside like left pocket. That was just left in there. Doesn't have any like if you do a quick like look at it, it doesn't have any like writing or anything you can see on it, but it's just a solid like copper metal key.
Cool.
And Saoirse says, Where have you been for the last 2 days? I heard you got in, and I haven't seen you since. You know, Caduceus said you were busy, but like,
I would love to tell you that story if I may. And like he like grabs a champagne flute and then like grabs another and like kind of like gives it to Murphy, and it's like he kind of looks to Murphy like, Murphy, did you find us a little place away so we can talk amidst all this, like, away from all this hullabaloo?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of maybe usher us towards a bathroom. I don't know. I didn't find anything.
Coat room, something.
I could roll now. I didn't roleplay anything that I found something, but that was what I was doing before.
Repeat after me. Yes, I found a great place, and we can talk in silence in this library.
Great.
Like, yeah, no, you're good. This is a huge
Cool.
house, right? The four of you can like grab a drink, mill around. Like there are people who are like looking at paintings and seeing like discussing in pockets of like 3 to 5, right? So it's not absurd to think you can just walk through and look at just the cool things that are on display.
Mhm.
If you're wandering through like the bedrooms, you probably get scolded at, but this is a rich person's house with like 15,000 square feet of stuff for you to enjoy. um,
Uh,
so
I'd be glad to. Yeah, let's follow Murphy to a quieter place so we can explain exactly all the boring things that are going on. And whenever he says that to like Saoirse and he have like a twin communication. So like whenever it's like, oh yeah, it's been really boring, he's like usually means like terrible things are afoot.
she like raises
So
an eyebrow at that. She goes, "Oh," puts down
like
the
really
champagne, puts down the champagne flute, picks up a glass of whiskey from the bar as you're walking.
Mhm.
he does the same. They almost do it like in tandem a little bit, because twins. He's like, yeah, about that boring. Maybe the worst, most boring day ever did hear about.
Very much the you walk into the room and it's like close the door. What's going on?
First off, you're not going to like it, but I did see the lad and he did communicate with us. We got away safely. Saoirse.
Exaggerated,
We need
but
to
she
get out of here.
definitely just shoots back the whiskey and like puts it down and goes, "Okay, all right."
All right, but we got away, and we did hurt
But-
him.
but did ya?
We may have trapped him again.
Did you actually get away?
Yes, we did. I mean, we're alive. We're here. What do you mean, did we get away?
She walks over uh to like a little mirror on the wall, pulls it down and like puts it flat on a surface. Says, "Did you actually get away? Like you got away from him physically, but did you actually get away?"
Spiritually, yes, I'm away. I mean, Kelly Murphy was there.
I don't.
I'm-
Oh, you have a check? Why are we pulling mirrors off the wall?
I'm
Yes.
sorry I got involved in this. Spencer's like, "What is going on?" We can't take the mirror off the boss's wall. He's gonna get mad about it. I mean, do you, sweetie? But like, at the end of the day, we gotta put that back. And he's probably gonna get mad.
Oh,
I just wanna
Spencer,
help.
you're not
I
gonna
just-
deal with that. There's gonna be some servant that puts it back before he even notices.
I-
Calm down.
I just wanna. I feel like I'm missing a step here. Are you guys good? Okay.
Trust us.
I do trust you.
We trust you. You got us home safely. You got us to the ground safely. You got us to Borneo safely. And he like leans into Saoirse. He's like, he's good in my books, sis. But yes, we got away. And like, but he's gonna try and explain everything he can about what happened as quickly as he can with like help from Murphy.
Okay. Yeah, you start to recap like all the shenanigans. You hold anything back, or are you just going?
He doesn't hold anything back unless like Murphy is like, no, well, I don't know about that one, so.
Okay. I'm not trying to play like a gotcha move. I just want to make sure like you recap 2-person check. Okay. So I can track who knows what.
And just be like, you're in danger. They've recognized us and clocked us, and we can't seem to find Spence. I'm sorry, not Spencer. Quentin
Right.
at all. We haven't seen him, and it seems like Medum and or the doctor
Concaves.
pretty dangerous. Yeah. He put the box of stars on our plane. It was very badly damaged and did explode, so as we said earlier.
I have a question for you. So you told me all this. Are you aware that Caduceus? Are you aware that Caduceus personnel are telling everyone that there was a gas leak at the building, which resulted in damage to the front lobby. And there are a lot of people were hospitalized, which was why we might not see them for a couple of days. It looks at Saoirse, who like was not aware of this by her expression, and he's like, before everything you told me, I wasn't sure if you ended up in the hospital, and the Caduceus wasn't talking about it. So when I saw Murphy on the side of the road, I don't know, something's off here. So when all this is starting to make sense now. Okay, what do you need us to do?
We need to get out of here, and we probably need to get Tyranish to safety. But it'd be nice if you helped us, but we also understand keeping you safe might be the best. You know, keep you unaware of it as it was.
Spencer looks over at Saoirse, and like she nods. He's like, "No, I'll go with you guys."
Right. We need to get back to the others. If you want to come with us,
Have
I think
either of
we do.
you seen Quentin?
I thought he was in the hospital. Honestly, I thought he got caught in some damage from that gas leak, and then of course that turned out to be
Magic.
Magic and fabrication, right?
All right.
From outside, you can actually hear around the house, like, everyone, please come into the foyer. Come into the foyer. Mr. Meta would like to have a few words with everyone before we get the evening festivities underway. Please, gather your drinks. This way. And you hear like a knock on the door. The door opens. Like one of the red jacket servers is like, please, everyone. Mr. Meta's about to speak, and he wants to welcome you all.
Oh, of course. You go on ahead. We're gonna gather our drinks here.
Of course. Would you like me to take anything for you? What happened to the mirror? He goes over and like sets it back up.
It's like that when I got here, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. It's far beneath me to accuse a guest of anything. Please, I'll see myself out. Just leaves.
Where else were we going to do our cocaine at this fancy party?
Yeah, that's true.
Off the floor? How dare?
I'm above floor drugs at this point. Come, please.
Not doing drugs off the floor like common drug peasant. Anyway, so.
Are there windows in this room to the outside?
Yeah. Should we actually go out there, or should we see if we can jump out a window?
There is a window. You could just jump out and dip.
Saoirse, what is this party commemorating, celebrating?
Oh, they said that Dr. Goncalves was getting a promotion. It's a big deal for him. So, I think he's going to be something like basically the equivalent of the vice president of Caduceus.
Well, that's very sudden.
Mm-hmm. It's a big move.
Especially after he did all the things that we told you about. Let's try the mirror. I'm sorry, not the mirror. What am I saying? He's gone. I promise.
You can get out through the mirror if you want to fuck around.
I'm not gonna fuck around.
Oh,
that's a
right.
bad idea.
Gone through enough portals, thank you.
Right.
I try the mirror. I'm sorry. Now I'm saying it. I try a window.
Speak for yourself, Murphy.
Just in there.
I wrenched.
Are you
away
sure
from the
you
mirror.
really got away?
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know anymore. He grabs like a tablecloth or something and throws it over the mirror before going to the window.
I love the idea that you're just like, yeah, let's try the window, and you like start climbing onto the desk to go through the mirror, and Saoirse's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Whoops.
All right, yeah. So now you go over, open up the window, like you're on the ground floor. It's probably like 6 feet between like yourself and the actual outside area. So just very quickly, just jump out. Um, yeah, you're basically in the back of the manor house. If you remember the layout, so there's the house, there's the two guest houses. It makes sense that Oliver and Tyranish would have hit the guest house on the left because you're looking at like the way the wood line followed. They probably just followed up that way and got to that area, right? Going to the one on the right would have involved like kind of trying to cross through the party or walking like way the hell around the estate to stay in the woods. So, path of least resistance.
Let's go.
As you come kind of stealthed around the side of the building, you run into Oliver and Tyranish, right? They are also loitering around outside. Actually, you know what? I think Oliver waves you down the wood line. So you're kind of like walking. You see the four of them. You see Cecil, Murphy, Saoirse, and Spencer. Oh man, I hate that. Just so many S-sounding names.
It sounds like snake jazz.
Sounds like snake jazz.
Loitering, or just working their way. Like they come out a window. Like you're in the woods with Tyranish, and like I think the two of you are just sitting there, and like just kind of tap each other on the shoulder and just point. As you see at the same time, like window slides open. You know, Cecil, Saoirse goes out. Kind of Spencer helps her out, and then like Murphy kind of jumps out last, closes the window, and they just start like Scooby-Doo sneaking through the shadows of the estate. And then they're like, we should. I think they're leaving the party early. Let's flag them down.
Agreed.
You get like a little like rustle and a wave as you guys are crossing past. You're like, hey, come here. Yeah, y'all sneak down into like the little wooded area.
Is there any way to signal Wendy from here?
Don't know, but
I'm
Quentin's
waiting
locked
on
up in the shed.
time, right? So if we said an hour, we
Mhm.
can't be too far off that.
Said what about Quentin?
Quentin's locked up in the shed back here. We gotta bust him out.
How do you know?
Seen him. Met him, just had him. Met him, was visiting. Looks like he's gonna get roughed up. We gotta go.
All right, well, he's giving a big speech, so I guess now's the time.
Absolutely. For the fireworks.
Madam got a promotion. Vice president it is now.
Goncalves, you mean?
I'm sorry. Yeah, yes. That's what I meant. I'll go get Wendy.
No time.
No time? Alright, lead on.
I'll say just if you want to pull the party together, it is easy enough to like run out and grab her real quick.
Cecil does that.
Yeah, like I think Wendy's parked close enough. If we wanted to pull everyone, because it makes my life easy, and it's like you got a minute.
Sure.
Yeah.
Timey-wimey.
Yeah.
We do the secret bird call caw, to call Wendy.
Over here. Okay. Yeah, Wendy, real quick. Like you have a plan. You know, the car's parked in a good hidden spot. It's actually kind of in the vicinity. You can all gather close by the guest house. So now there's the four of you with Tyranish, Saoirse, and Spencer Brooks. Kind of hanging off the northern area of the woods by this guest house. What's the plan? Like everyone's briefed in, they're all on board and ready to go, right? So what's the plan?
Oliver.
I think we've got the numbers. Let's just pound on the door.
Are there not other people in there?
Just met him and one other from what Tyranish and I saw.
I met him left.
One other who?
So.
Did we see the main security guy inside?
Yeah.
Frank's
inside.
Frank
Oh, it was
inside.
okay.
This is God, not Hendrix. What's his name?
Canning.
Yeah.
It's Hendrix. It's just Hendrix.
It's Hendrix. Yeah, it is.
So.
Yeah, Canning's in there with Quentin.
I see.
Yes.
So
Sooner is
there any
better.
way to get in there? I don't know. Like I look at the door. Is there like a key?
So the door, as you're looking at, is like a nice steel reinforced door. Now I will say this: Oliver just watched like not 5 minutes ago, met him walk out that door, and then the door like was closed behind him. So like, there's a possibility it's not locked. There's also, you know what?
I'm gonna.
Aha. Lowe's.
There's an answer for this now.
I
It may
give
or
it
may not be locked.
I give the door just a gentle pull.
It opens.
Maybe too easy?
No one's expecting this. Flame pistols at the ready?
Oh, yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. You push in the door. And we'll pick up the next session.
And scene.
Yep. There it is. But I love the image of like all of you with your flame pistols and your people pull out derringers and knives and they're ready to go and you're just like Leroy. Hell yeah. Good session. Shorter session, but it's because let's be honest, like I'm dying. Not that I'm not happy to be here, but I am very tired and like it's been a hell of a week. But we will pick back up again with this. No, I'm so excited. I'm like riding the high now, and I know in 5 minutes I'll be like, I want to die.
Yeah.
We'll pick up that back again with this on the 21st. I'm not tracking any scheduling issues, I don't think. And we'll have the exciting
Next week.
Pardon?
And I said Thanksgiving is the next week, and
Yes.
I have family visiting in the beginning part of the weekend, but they are leaving by the time we have game.
Cool.
Right on.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
our adventurers are locked and loaded and ready to go as they kick in the door to save their handler Quentin and hopefully emerge victorious. But we will resolve that next week in 2 weeks, Two-Headed Serpent. That said, thank you for everybody who donated to Extra Life and tuned in. And next thing on the queue, I believe, is Will streaming something. Oh, he's going to finish Bastion. This week. He's got one last stream of that, and then we have next week is Impulse Drive, so a little more Nephilim adventure in space. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Anything from the brave adventurers?
Thank you for hitting our team goal mark for Extra Life. Please continue to donate.
Yep. We'll see you same Snake Jazz time, same Snake Jazz station.
Ooh, I like it.
And as we always say here in Snake Jazz Lounge.
See you later.
See you later.
Oh.
All right. Have a great night. Thanks for watching. Bye.